Hello and welcome to tonight's first. Oh, oh, now there's an endless echo. But anyway, welcome to tonight's first live Twitch stream of Despoir, Curse of Strahd, session number 26 or 27. Our numbers are in flux because we are still releasing past episodes on YouTube, which are available to watch. I want to thank all of you tonight for being here with us. It means a lot that you're joining us this evening, and we at Unconventional Heroes, thank you for coming, and also friends. Tonight, you get to join us on this arc of our player's journey at 9th level, and so very near to what might be their confrontation of Strahd, if they survive that long, that is. Quick shout out to our unofficial sponsors, Roll20, Twitter, Discord, OBS Studios, Stream Elements, and all the music that's made our YouTube possible. Our artist, Legend Blore, aka Isaiah, and all of you, and especially players and creators, Twitch, and in general, all of them, for helping us get set up and telling people about our stream beforehand. Quick note, just so you guys know, we can't interact with you in the chat. We have some amazing mods, including DJ Poser, who will be welcoming you, but this is live D&D, so the players and DM will not be able to talk with you until the break or after the show. But now, without further ado, let me introduce you to our amazing players tonight, starting with Rennie, our sometimes real-life bard and support character. Rennie, tell us about Dominic.
Hi, yeah, I'm Rennie Stern, and I play Dominic Darling. Dominic is a silver-tongued, sometimes devil, and definitely the diplomat of the party. He finds himself nowadays a little more aggressive when it comes to the fight, but that changed recently when the Flight of Hope was formed, now called Despoir. Other than that, Dominic's dressed immaculately and would never have it any other way.
All right, thank you, Rennie. Next up is my girl, Tatelyn, who is the best cheerleader our group could ever ask for. Tate, please tell us about your lovely pink elven lady.
I play Larkspur Birchbark. She is a pink elven lady. She has long pink hair, very slender. She's beautiful. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. Lark is she's our druid and kind of like the mama bear of the party. She's very protective of her friends, very protective of nature and the wilderness, and kind of it gets to her head sometimes and can lead her astray. She's also the Oaken Reaver of Barovia's Druids now. She bestowed this title after helping them release a curse on, what was it, the Winter Splinter Tree?
The Goldius Tree, yeah. You helped.
The Goldius Tree, yes. My apologies.
I like Winter Splinter.
No, Winter Splinter sounds way cooler.
It does! Lark is a genuine sweetheart, and she thinks with her heart and follows that heart a little bit too much. And she also cracks vampire jokes to her friend Gremmin, and you'll see that a lot throughout the party.
Oh, yeah.
Jokes. Like those people who say they're joking, but they're not really joking. Yeah.
Other than that, yeah.
So that's Lark. Next up is Gene, without whom OBS and our other programs would not even be running, because he's just incredible, and I love him. Gene, please tell us about the character you will be playing this evening.
Hi all, I'm Gene, and I am playing Charles Henri. He is a, village. He's from a village in Cormire, and he is a 6'4", chocked full of muscles, like
bulging muscles,
salt of the earth person. Though due to some sort of tragic / glamorous event, he has become a champion of the Raven Queen, and using his newfound power and already bulging muscles to help, he is on a quest to do what the Raven Queen desires, and he is dressed very similar to an executioner, though when he's not like that, he is pale-skinned, dark hair, but has piercing blue eyes, and he is very soft in his demeanor and a little bit wise beyond his years.
All right, last up, Ralph, bedrock and sly wit of the group, whose late-night puns in our group chat get us through every day. Ralph, please tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Ralph. I'm playing Gremin Martikov. Gremin's tragic backstory didn't lead him to become a cleric, instead led him to become a barbarian. So he hits stuff and gets mad.
Wow.
He has a relatively secretive, quiet side where he likes poetry, and he does have something of a wit, but he doesn't let it show. And recently, he's been growing a beard. Due to the influence of a magical artifact, but we'll get into that later.
Oh yeah.
Gremin is just happy to be here and beating up vampires.
And I am Julia May, your GM, and I am playing the various denizens of Ravenloft and Barovia, and I can't wait to get started. So to lead all of you in, and just so you know, there will be backup, and there already are, back episodes of this available on YouTube, and hopefully there'll be more coming every week. I hope. I'm the one editing it, so it's up to me. Please get on me about that. But anyway, let me summarize for you what has happened so far in the campaign. I'll try to keep it brief, but I just want to bring all of you in, especially those of you who may not be as familiar with Curse of Strahd. So, the party once numbered 6, although they don't remember that. They've always just been the 4 of them, right? When they entered the Mists of Ravenloft after a mission from the Lady of Daggerford, they didn't know what to expect, although some, like Charles Henri, felt a calling that he couldn't explain. They soon learned the lord of this realm, Strahd, was none other than an ageless and cruel vampire, a member of the undead, trapped within the mist, just like them. Along the way, they picked up the name Vol Despoir, or Flight of Hope, because they hoped it might bring joy to those Barovians who still had a soul to lose. They've toppled corrupt burgomeisters and freed mad abbeys of twisted creatures, restored the werewolves in Barovia to the care of Brightclaw, their leader, and made peace between them and their kin in Kresh. They've helped families grieve their losses, even the Wachters, who once served Strahd, although they no longer remember. They helped the forest folk restore their Golthius tree, Oak and Reaver, and defeated the evil hag Morgantha, who haunted the party's dreams. But most importantly, they've taken the word of a Vistani woman called Madame Ava, who has promised they can defeat Strahd if they obtain 3 objects, 2 of which they have already located. 1, a powerful holy symbol, known as the Holy Symbol of Ravenkind, worn by the cleric Charles Henri. Another, the Book of Strahd, a journal detailing his life and perhaps more secret to rid the world of him. And lastly, the item they still have yet to restore, a sword with secrets, carried by Gremin, that an old ghost has promised to restore when the time was right. This ghost was Sergei, the brother of Strahd, who is also keeping safe the reason for Strahd's malevolence, the peasant girl Irina, who Strahd believes is the reincarnation of his past love, Tatiana. He hates the party for keeping her away from him, but he bides his time, watching, waiting for them to make a misstep. And there are darker things in Barovia, older than Strahd, who are watching too. Alien stars blinking just beyond the edge of the mist. We return to our party as they have just defeated the witch, Baba Lasaga, and freed the trapped Martikov were-ravens from their cages, the final gem in hand, as well as a giant dragon skull, to restore the Martikov family winery. And the party is about to take a rest at the giant stone monuments overlooking the ruined town of Berez. And thus, we enter our scene with the party walking along a road. I don't know how you're carrying this dragon skull. Are the were-ravens helping you? It's like 250 pounds.
I thought me and Gremin were. Do you want me to read the journal?
Oh, wait, yes. Yes, please. Charles Henri has a journal entry for us
All right.
that he wrote.
Entry number 3. I was just a humble gravedigger and coffin maker from Weymouth in the King's Forest. I have a destiny and a calling to complete, a quest for the Raven Queen. I know it is important, and I know I must succeed, but what happens afterward? I believe I was brought to this vile land of Barovia to help defeat one of the greatest undead, a powerful vampire and necromancer, Strahd von Zorovich. It would have been enough to defeat him and come home to my beloved Melody. While in this land, the demon lord Grast captured us to ask for our help in defeating Orcus. Curse his name. He informed us that my beloved Melody made a pact and implied fell for Grost's demonic charm. This changed everything. With that insidious creature's information, my end goal became threatened. If I return after completing the Raven Queen's task, what happens? Do I lose these gifts? And what if I'm just a village gravedigger and coffin maker? How can I stand against Orcus and help my beloved defeat Grost? I have begun to doubt my future and happiness with this major complication. I know my goddess is known for her foresight and wisdom, but she is also known for her callousness and uncaring nature. I remember not 5 days ago, I would charge forward, know that I was fighting and moving with a defined purpose to finish my destiny's quest and reunite with Melody. Now I hesitate and am cautious. Luckily, I have Dominic. He calls me out on this change and the hypocrisy of it. I would see signs and omens, interpreting them as portents sent from the Raven Queen. But now I questioned freeing caged were ravens. We thought they're just ravens. Instead of freeing these birds of my goddess. Luckily Dominic did call me out. I think this war scythe that my matron gifted me also feels like a mantle. It is the first time I got a true conversation with my goddess, which most clerics can't even imagine happening in this day and age. It is so confusing. I never had these giant aspirations or responsibilities. I worry it won't be enough. I worry it will all be taken away from me by the whim of my goddess. What if Melody no longer loves me when I return? What happens if I am no longer strong enough to be her equal? For one of the very few times in my life, I have doubt and fear for my future. I must speak with Dominic and the others for their perspective. I don't know if I should ask the Raven Queen directly, and I must take matters into my own hands and speak to the Martikovs about maybe becoming one of the Were-Raven. I might be closer to my goddess if I can learn more about these creatures, and worst case, if I lose my divine gifts, having backup so I can still help in the trials and tribulations to come. Please, Raven Queen, guide me, see me through this. I remain your faithful servant, Charles Henri.
All right. So
I have a question.
yes.
Did you spit in your journal when you cursed Grosh's name?
When I wrote Orcus, he spit. Of course, that is a cursed name.
Oh. So there's like a little bit of like saliva on the
Or did
page.
you
That's
like
great.
cross it out? Like
No, he wrote Orcus and then spit on the ground.
Okay,
It's
okay,
superstition.
alright.
Come on.
All right.
Perfect.
I just imagine you writing, spitting in your journal.
Yeah.
Just all smeared. Yep, that's 100% what happened.
So, all right. So you guys literally just got done defeating this witch. It's the end of a very long day. You're heading towards the stone circle, which the Martikovs assured you should be a place of rest. Some of them said that they were going to go on ahead to the winery and left. Some of them are staying with you as a kind of guard, and they're going to fly ahead and perch on top of these stone monuments sort of around the circle.
I mean, we could put this dragon skull upon the wagon that is a little bit off in the swamp.
Is that what we're bloody talking about? Not the house that tried to kill us?
She's dead. We do not need to talk about house anymore.
It did try to eat Gremlin.
It definitely tried to eat you, man. We should
Yes,
talk
but
about
he's
that.
dead now.
I
I
suppose
wasn't in it at all, so
right.
It's on the
Well,
ground.
all's well that
I'm
ends well.
sorry.
eh?
Dominic, would you mind cleaning me off? I am disgusting.
Just as long as you stay over there, sure. And Dominic will kind of lean away from Charles Henri, and he begins to kind of flick his fingers ever so slightly. And as he does, small little sparkles of multicolored light kind of drift off of his hand, and they sort of wash slowly over Charles Henri, who's covered in mud, blood, some of it his, some of it not, a lot of it not. And Dominic just has this sneer of disgust as he does so.
As Dominic is doing that, Gremlin is going to quietly and subtly duck behind a tree to avoid the possibility of that happening to him.
Perfect.
Just real quietly.
Listen, I was submerged in that bathtub. I think I got some in my mouth. It was not pleasant.
Yeah, you were in the disgusting bath. I forgot about that. God. That's what that
You
smell
need a
is.
bath, man. I can only do so much.
Listen, when we're out of these swamps, I will gladly take a bath, but I feel like that disgusting water won't help.
Definitely won't help. It's also full of snakes, so don't do that.
Yeah, you look over at the swamp water, and it definitely does that, like, swamp bubble up a little bit, like, you know, Bog of Eternal Stench style, and you're just like, no.
All right, well, let's set up camp. I could use a bit of a sit. Is anyone hurt? And where's Gremlin gone? Did he get eaten by the house?
No, he's hiding from you.
I'm still here. Do not worry. I just I will. I'm looking forward to a rest. Yes.
I would like a rest. I'm not feeling 100%.
I mean, Locke, are you hurt, dear?
I'm hurt, but I'm not dying. I'm just not feeling
give us your
great.
hand, love.
Okay.
Just to kind of get a visual, Dominic is about 5'11". He stands with studded leather, and this studded leather is immaculate. It is form-fitting to his very lithe form. Dominic carries a rapier that seems very nice, a very small buckler. He looks like he travels light, and a lot of that equipment of like the combat-oriented equipment looks fairly new, not well broken in like perhaps Gremlins or Charles. The one thing about Dominic though is his hair is perfect. No matter that they just got in a fight with a house and several witches and lightning was thrown about, Dominic's hair is pristine. It is very clear to anyone observing that he looks human, but his cheekbones are high. His eyes slightly almond shaped. There is clearly a mixing of blood, and anyone with any amount of insight can tell it's probably Fey in origin. Other than that, Dominic carries a golden lyre strung across his back, and he walks with a light step.
Mm-hmm.
All right, love. Your hand. And Dominic takes Larkspur's hand between his. And Dominic begins to hum a kind of just a short little tune. And as he does, golden light seems to press between his hands. And I will cast Cure Light Wounds on my friend.
Thank you.
Larkspur healed 26.
Ooh, thank you.
I cast a big one. Feeling better, love?
I am feeling much better. Thank you so much, Dominic. You're literally a lifesaver.
Stop it. I mean, don't, but stop it. All right, you boys, and I kind of gesture in the direction of the Gremlin and Charles. You big bulging muscle boys can figure out what you're doing with that skull. Me and Locke are going to have a sit at the stones.
I mean, we can sit with it at the stones. That's what I thought.
I'm just not helping you carry it. And with that, Dominic sort of turns and
Are you guys walking in the circle of stones? Sorry, are you going? Okay. Larkspur, when you get into the circle of stones, please make me a wisdom check. So not, a D20 plus wisdom.
Wisdom is awesome, so not to be cocky, but I got a 15.
Right. Okay. So the minute that you enter the circle, you feel like there's a humming there. Like you can feel the magic within. And as you look up at these stones that surround you, you'll realize that they are carved with the shapes of, elks and bears and deer, and it kind of reminds you of something. And kind of at the same time that you're noticing this and you feel the magic, no one else here feels that magic. Maybe Gremlin a little bit, but mostly it's Larkspur. But you all see the carvings. You all can make me an insight check.
Insight? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Here I go embarrassing myself.
Me too.
I lied. I got a 16, Julia.
Yeah.
I got a 9.
I got an 11.
Okay, so Dominic remembers, and
22.
Larkspur, yeah, I figured this goes with your other one too. Larkspur and Dominic, you guys suddenly remember that stone circle outside of Morgantha's windmill. And it reminds you of that. In fact, it is almost a perfect replica, maybe slight differences, but it is like the same stone circle. I mean, it's a different stone circle, obviously, but it is the same stone circle. So it occurs to you that these must have been made around the same time. And you can tell just looking at them that they are very old. And Larkspur, you definitely get that feeling of just druidic energy. So Gremlin, I'm going to say you're a little in tune with this, so you feel it, but it's more like a buzzing to you. And you feel like a deep thrum under the earth, like, oh, there's
It's like
magic
in
here.
me at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Does anybody else feel that?
I don't feel it, but if I'm not mistaken, we've seen a circle like this
Yep.
before, yeah?
Oh yeah. It feels vaguely familiar, like the windmill area.
And as soon as she says that, boys, you both remember too. Yes. Oh wow, there was that. Those stone circles.
Wasn't that circle desecrated by the windmill?
I don't know about that, but I don't. I'm feeling much less safe and comfortable here. A moment, and Dominic reaches into a pouch and pulls out a small tin, and he kind of rubs this black paste between his fingers and rubs it over each eyelid. Julia, I'm going to cast See Invisibility.
Sure thing. Okay. As you look around, you see that there's this thin layer of just green magic kind of over the whole circle, and it's kind of enveloping the whole thing, which is odd because normally you don't see magic like that, but there's nothing there, like there's no beings or anything strange, but you see this. And now that it's been pointed out to you, I'm gonna say that you all kind of feel that magical pull now that you've kind of been there for a minute. Charles, Henri, or anyone skilled in Arcana. Oh, also, I guess Dominic, you can make me an Arcana roll.
I'll make an Arcana.
If you can tell what it is.
I'm not skilled in Arcana, but I'll roll it.
Oh, Julia, I did good.
Okay.
I got a 25.
Great.
Ooh.
Nice.
So, you once upon a time came across something in your past history, let's say, where someone made something that couldn't be scryed upon, and this reminds you very much of that magic. And so it kind of occurs to you that whatever is inside this bubble of this stone circle cannot be scryed upon or viewed through divination, most likely.
Dominic will kind of see this and make this connection, and he'll go, "Huh, it's a bloody veil. This is a bloody veil. I think anything inside of it, if I'm not mistaken, cannot be viewed by magic. Clever." The circle, and I'll point it out to everyone. The circle is about here. How clever. Perhaps Morgantha's didn't do that because she was a horrible bitch. But,
I mean, or she desecrated it with her sisters.
Or warped it to some dark purpose. Regardless, she's dead.
Well, maybe we should then make our camp inside this circle?
Sure, just you have to stay over there.
I can give you some lavender, and you can, I don't know, smash it on your face or wherever it smells.
I mean, I was just going to clean myself off with, a towel or something.
Do.
Okay, that works too.
I do not understand. He does not even smell bad.
I'm covered in blood. I'm awful. My arm is
like
sticky.
that smell. You smell great to him. It's the lavender
Gref-
that scares him.
Grevin's sense of smell has just been completely obliterated from his. It's very keen, but it doesn't pick up on what most folks would call stinky, for instance.
So you guys pretty much are planning to spend the night here. Then I'm assuming because the sun is starting to set. It is getting late. Okay.
The were-ravens, you said they're perched on stones and stuff, right?
They are.
Pardon, and I'll just kind of address the nearest one. Do you gents or ladies plan on staying the night with us, or do you have things to do now that you're free, of course?
They kind of look at each other, and one of them will fly down and immediately become a full person, and you realize it was the person that addressed you the last time and was like, "Oh, we can stay if you wish to guard your way out of Perez, or we can leave. In honesty, we would like to be reunited with our family. We sent the worst of us injured back home, but, those of us here would also like to return."
Please, go to your people. We can manage.
Be well and be careful. There's strange things wander the lands of Berez at night. And he sort of signals to the others, and they all start to flap, and then he just kind of poof and just kind of flaps away.
I mean,
Very good trick.
is there a road to this ruins that we could bring our cart up to it?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely, you could bring your cart in. Like you have a feeling that the road goes up to the base of the hill, and then there's kind of a grassy hill, and then these standing stones. So you could definitely get the cart up there. It's not the stones are not so close together. You could not drag a cart inside with you.
Oh, I would just bring the cart to the edge of the road, and then bring our horses up to the stones, so that because I don't think someone's going to steal a cart without horses.
Horses need protection too.
What are you doing with the skull?
Leaving it inside the circle. We'll put it in the wagon later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. Dominic seems to be thinking to himself.
I imagine I will, help start a fire to, get everything ready so that I can get out of this disgusting armor and dry it and clean it.
Should I go get the cart?
If you don't mind.
It's fine. And Gremlin will take off at a jog and head back towards the cart.
Okay. So you bring everything inside the circle and you start the fire like you normally would, set up camp for the night. You do find some clean water at a stream a little ways back. It's not close enough to the ruins that you would feel safe bathing there. Also, there are still a ton of insects, just gnats, biting gnats when you get close to any body of water. But there's enough there that you could collect fresh water to cook with if you wanted to, or anything like that, and some fish for dinner if need be. And the light kind of dances up on the stones and casts this kind of eerie light. You do notice that there is fog rolling in, though. So whatever you're there's definitely
Great.
night fog coming. Mm-hmm.
Great.
Well,
Okay.
maybe this circle will protect us from that.
Well, I hope so, because I don't want to fight scarecrows tonight. I really am not in the mood.
I hope so. Neither do I, Locke. Neither do I.
I'm over them. I'm over them.
For as much as Dominic's complaining, he brings 2 fresh pails of water to Charles.
Charles accepts them, and sitting down at a log. Charles is the 6'4", massive framed human. Once he takes off his hood and his half plate, he is just all peasant musculature, rough hands, but he seems to have a very kind face. And besides, taking off his full half plate, and he has this ornate black war scythe that seems to have chains interlocking into the blade as its symbol. Brushing underneath his shirt seems to be this sun pendant, which is this whole magical holy symbol of the raven kind, and next to it seems to be a vial that has one single raven feather in it, which is his self-made holy symbol. he kind of sits down, and as he's like washing, he definitely has a like sadness and forlorn look to his face and eyes that he is not hiding.
Dominic will take a seat across from you, from Charles, and he'll pick up like one of your greaves because cleaning your armor in pieces, and he'll take one of the pails and kind of go to it. Charles, you all right, mate? We just killed a witch. Well, several witches. I poisoned one of them. It was terrible.
Yeah, we did. Oh,
Uh,
it was terrible. I'm not
Terrible.
proud of that at
I,
all. Listen. I deserve some kind of acting, like nomination for that at least, right? Right, Dominic.
Locke, I will say, I was rather impressed. You sold it very well.
I mean, thing.
well, there's been a few things on my mind. I don't know if you have all noticed, but I've been acting strange, and I have finally noticed it.
Define strange, Charles. You worship a god of death.
Well,
That's pretty strange in my book.
besides that, when we first got here, I knew that this place was my mission. It was what's my purpose, and we would run headlong. We tore apart those vampire spawns in their coffins, and we ran amok upon Strahd's things. And then we went to that monastery, and we fought that fallen angel. And
We did.
when you had a plan to summon Strahd and defeat him there, I
Ah,
I spoke caution, which
you did.
to me is strange, as I have been always fervent. I've always known that what my destiny was. But Larkspur and Gremlin and myself, when you were training with with the druids and the were creatures, we were captured by a demon prince.
Oh, I'm aware. You disappeared for 3 days, and I nearly lost my bloody mind.
But there, that creature, he talked of our future, and he talked of what would happen, and he brought to
Sure.
my attention that he had been masquerading in my village, and that he was interacting with my fiancée, and even to the point where she has made some sort of dark pact with him, maybe for power, maybe to defend herself. But part of me wonders if maybe that's because I am gone and I cannot be there to help. And then that led me down another hill of what happens if, when we are finished here, the Raven Queen is done with me, and I just return to my normal ways, to my job. I go back to my village. That was always my plan, honestly. But now we have this bigger threat of Orcus, invading our homelands, helping you find your love, helping Gremlin figure out his past. I mean, Loxba, I don't really know what you have planned for your future, but I know you're pretty important, I imagine, amongst your people. But I've made promises, and I worry that if I lose this, if I am no longer this champion of hers, what will I be?
Uh, I, I have a few points I'd like to make, but perhaps I am not so wise as others. I have been down dark roads of my own, and it took me going fairly deep down those roads to find my way through. Um, so perhaps I will wait. Perhaps my counsel can wait. I don't know. Oaken Reaver, do you have anything to add here?
Charles, I feel like you're more than the Raven Queen. She came to you for a reason, of course, but you were somebody before her.
Not, not really.
Oh, Melody thought so.
I mean, that is true, but I wasn't some grand figure that was a champion to people.
Don't
You were a
listen to the
champion
woman.
to Melody. She loved you,
Hopefully
and
she
you were
still
happy.
does.
I'm sure she does. I cannot relate with a long distance love, but I know what it's like to have passion for something, and I imagine that it's even greater when you have passion for someone, and you can feel it when it isn't there anymore. I don't think Melody doesn't love you anymore. I just it it's impossible for me to even imagine that. I feel like you would know.
But it's thrown me. I've thrown caution. I even ignored the signs of these ravens, portent of my lady. Like my, I have questioned my goddess, and I don't know if that is okay for me to do. She has given me so many gifts, and what happens if I am
You're still
undeserving
human.
of them?
You're still human. You're allowed to make your own decisions in the end. She's not going to torment you for having your own free will. If she does, I mean, she's not my goddess, so I'm not well attuned to her ways, but you're still immortal. At the end of the day, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make choices, and be they hers or yours with what you're supposed to do, everything will come together because it's your path. Does that make sense?
Uh, I guess I guess I don't know. I don't understand the motives of this great immortal being, and it's, I don't know. I guess it makes me question my own frailty as a mortal, and if I can be that. If I'm going up against two demon princes, I'm strong, but
Yes, you are.
I'm only a mortal man, and even with all of your help, it still is worrisome.
Yeah, but like Strahd doesn't have friends, so I'm just saying.
It's,
Okay, but all jokes aside again, Charles, we're in a really high stretch situation right now. You're going to react to your woes and your gut instinct sometimes, even when you're straightforward focused. Sometimes your emotions get the best of you. There's nothing wrong with that.
Point of order there, Charles. You may have made a mistake. You may have had doubts. If making mistakes and having doubts makes you a bad person or makes you not deserving of things, then I should be buried 20 meters below sea level, my friend. I know you've only known me a short time, but I assure you, I have done things and said things and not said things that would be unconscionable had you met me at that time. Charles,
We've
to have
sorry.
doubt is to be human, is to be mortal. You say you do not know immortal beings? You shouldn't know that. That is not for you to know, my friend. You keep thinking of the future. You are thinking of what if, what happens when. My friend, I'm not saying ignore the road in front of you, but look at the path you're on now. Stay
Yep.
here in the present. Yes, perhaps the Raven Queen sent you a sign and you missed it. But you know what the Raven Queen, again, if you are a believer in the truest sense of the word, the Raven Queen had me here, had Larkspur here. Hell, it even brought Gremmin's beard with us.
And his
We are
vampiric ways.
all here to help you see these signs, even if you don't see them with your own eyes.
I don't think she would agree with the vampirism. Just throwing it out there.
Well, I might be able to convince her. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm on to something, and we're going to find out. When we meet
Yeah.
Strahd, we're going to turn, and there's going to be like, Strahd's here, and then out of nowhere it dissipates, and it's just Gremmin.
That's
So
literally impossible. But okay.
let me get this straight. This whole
Is
time,
Gremmin back now?
Yeah, Grimmon's been back. I'm sorry, he's there. Yeah, I assumed you were there. Just listening to this on the side like this. That's what I picture. Just like, really, guys? Like,
Lark is popping her in and out because she wants to cheer up Charles a little bit and also set his mind straight with the seriousness as well. Like a little bit, a little dash of everything. You are a vampire.
okay. So just so I understand this right, Gremmin has taken blows that would have felled a man 40 times over. He has risked his life, his limb, He has aided us in gathering the stones that will cure the land of infection. But truly, he is Strahd walking amongst us. Is that right, please?
He
Keep
existed
your
in
enemies
sunlight.
close.
He literally
Listen,
existed
he's
in
wearing
sunlight.
suntan lotion. Boom. That's a thing, right?
Larkspur.
What? Listen, the day I stop making these jokes, something's wrong, and we all know it.
You know, that is a point. That is a point,
That means
actually.
I've been kidnapped, and there's a clone of me in front of
So-
you.
I
It's a
mean,
doppelganger and you have to kill it.
And now I just gave the DM something to work with. God damn it.
It's fine.
I appreciate
Uh,
the counsel. Honestly, Gremlin, I would not mind if you could weigh in. I would like your opinion.
I know nothing of gods or goddesses. I've never
Here.
interacted. You are the most interaction I've ever had with a religious man. But I can also tell, like Larkspur said, your strength comes as much from your character as your goddess. I think that if she were to, in some way, even if she were in some way to rescind her gifts to you, you would find another way to be a hero, to be the champion that you are, that you show yourself to be. But I think for right now, you are right. We have a job to do, and we will not be able to do it when dead. So your caution is an adaptation for survival. That is how I've been looking at it. I did not think it was so outlandish to want to survive.
if I had,
Only you, Charles, would think it's strange to show wisdom and caution in Barovia.
I again cannot speak for the Raven Queen, but I think a lot of our goddesses and gods out there choose us because of our flaws and our pros and cons. So, Charles, how do you know that she wasn't aware that you were going to do what you did?
Oh.
I mean, she is a goddess that can foresee things and divine the future.
So I don't
then
think
she
she's
knew this
holding
was
ill
gonna
will.
happen. So there you go.
All right. Well, I appreciate your counsel and you've helped. So, in the thanks of that, is there a message you would like me to send to Strahd?
Oh, so many.
Yeah.
I have them written. Hold on. And Dominic goes into his pack and begins to pull out. All right.
Dominic, you do first one. I call dibs on next.
No, Grumman, do you want to go? If it's a poem,
No.
I want you to go first.
Let me see if I can pull up a poem real quick.
I mean, I have a few. Some are really terrible. Some are mildly annoying.
I picture Gremlin is like, so while you guys are pulling this up, something's gonna happen. So you guys are sitting here having this conversation on this log. Are you within or without the circle? It doesn't really matter.
Inside the circle.
Okay, you're in the circle on a log. That's fine. Just need to know where you were. So the fog has been slowly kind of gathering, and from your vantage point, because you are up on a hill with these standing stones, you can see into the valley, right? And the valley goes underneath the Balanok Mountains, and it's very beautiful. And you can see kind of distantly Strahd's castle. It's a little bit blocked from this angle, but you can see this valley stretching out kind of between the trees. And as you're watching, the fog thickens over the valley, and you hear the distinct sounds of a battle within the valley. Like you can hear like swords and shouting and horses and screams and just like all this noise. Do you do anything, or do you stay there inside the circle?
I don't believe it's true.
I will send Lenore to investigate and put my senses through hers.
Okay.
I'll give her a light rock.
You give her a rock? Oh, a
Yeah,
light rock.
I'll cast light on a rock.
See. Yeah. Okay.
Arm that lady.
So you fly, Lenore flies into the valley. It's very nice, very cinematic drone effect of this whole thing. So the fog is lying low over the field, but and it lights up the fog, but it can't pierce the fog. You cannot see through the fog. It's so thick, and if she goes down, she can't see more than 60 feet in any direction. It's pretty thick. But the sounds of battle are thick here, but there's nothing that you can see really. And then suddenly, as that's happening, and you all up on the hill can see this from afar, Charles Henri is just getting the full close-up shot here. The fog suddenly takes on the forms of soldiers charging across the field on horseback, and they collide with armored pike bearers who are wearing devil-horned helms. And as each soldier falls in battle, it turns to fading mist. Hundreds more soldiers collide in a storm of screams and clashing metal. A moment later, you hear a thunderous roar, and a huge dragon made of silver mist glides overhead, dispersing enemy soldiers with each flap of its mighty wings. Its long reptilian tail slices through the air above you and very close to Charles Henri and Lenore, as the dragon carves a swath through the fog, affording you a fleeting glimpse of a dark mansion overlooking the valley, which, as you remember, was where you were before the dragons. Or the ghost dragon.
Don't mind me being hyped because I'm figuring it out as I go.
I know, right?
I'm just like, I know what this is.
So pretty much after that, the mist starts to settle again and dissipate. The night fog starts to go away, and it just leaves this empty night valley. And there's just the sounds of, a late fall evening and the rustling of the Svalich woods in the distance, and distant every now and then a wolf howl, which does not feel very threatening. And again, just these weird alien stars, blinking above your heads. And that's it.
It's ghost fight. We do not need to worry. It's fine.
Well, will you tell us what happened?
I kind of pull my vision back, and I will describe everything I saw up close.
Well, with the dragon skull here, that kind of out.
This is
probably
It's good point.
It's probably where the battle was.
That creature's skull, but this could be a site where the Dragon Knights had one of their final battles. We do know where they are housed, entombed. I'm not quite sure the term.
Manor?
It had a name. I don't know if you guys actually knew the name.
We just been calling it the Dragon Manor.
I think we've been
That's
like the
a good name.
Manor of Dragon
Sure.
Knights.
It has a name. I'm just terrible at pronouncing it. I think you.
It's
I don't know if you
okay.
did find out
Anything
the
is
name.
canon when the DM gives it to us.
Right?
So
yeah. Officially, no, it's Argenverholst or something. I think I've been calling it Argenverholst. We'll just call it that. Sure, it's close enough.
Argen. Who?
Argenverholst. There's a V in it, so you gotta get it in there somehow. Hang on, give me. It is Argenvostholt. I was totally off. I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat. You guys decide how to pronounce it. Hold on.
I mean,
let me see what it is.
We do have that bones of that soldier.
It's like Dutch.
Argenvostholt.
Argensnaufen.
I'm sorry, Gene. I did not hear that.
I'm sorry. Me too. I'm sorry.
I was saying we do have the bones of that soldier that was against Strahd. He might be part of it, but I still think I have a few days before I could speak to him again. It hasn't been that long.
He did say he was a part of a great war, and that's what you just described.
So maybe
that makes sense.
He might be part of this mansion. And honestly, the reason why I wanted the skull, we could speak to it, but I really wanted to put it to rest because we've met its ghost. So to me, that sounds like unfinished business. But
you met the ghost twice.
I've been looking through your entries, both of you, and Gremlin, I think I like your first one. It is spaced out nicely.
What about this one?
I
say a really bad word.
Oh, that's so vulgar. I don't think I could even say that.
I can say it. Give me it. I can say it.
Yeah, but you can't say you can't send the message.
I'll say it twice.
Only Charles Henri can send the message to the rape.
Right.
I'll say it right now.
So I'll say this: if we do this inside the circle, he won't be able to track back where it came from. So we have no idea.
Yeah,
he will know it's us, but if he tries to look upon us, he will see nothing.
I want him to know it's us.
Oh no! He will know who sent it. That I cannot stop.
Good.
All right.
Okay, good.
Good. Are you all ready then, I guess?
Yes.
All right. Raven Queen, please send this message to Strahd von Zalvarich. Thy mother rots beneath the ground, thy heart's desire never found. In thy presence does life recoil, your stench and visage all things spoil, elder.
Oh,
I figured,
love poetry,
Gremlin, I
Fred.
liked your ending, a bit vulgar, but I remember that he hated being called elder. So
He
that's
doesn't like
why
being
I
called old man.
threw it in
Oh,
there.
I like that. Yes.
I think
I wait
there's
to
a
see
bad
if
word, right?
I wait to see if he replies to this message.
So you hear silence, but it's the kind of silence that you realize there's definitely someone there, but they are choosing not to respond. It's like that sort of very like almost like heavy breathing, but not breathing. Like there's just that like there's someone there. Oh, they heard you, but they're not saying a
And
word.
I used my last 4th level slot for today. Well, he definitely got the message, but he was not
Okay.
kind enough to respond. So he is very rude.
Bitch. I did it, and I'll do it again.
I mean, that was the ending that Gremlin originally came up to.
Oh, I know.
Thanks to
Yes,
Dominic.
That was yes.
No,
Listen,
Elder
I
was
said
better.
worth on the ship. That's nothing. Woohoo. I could give you a dictionary full of bad words if you want me to.
I don't.
I won't right now.
Dominic is interested.
Out of respect for Charles, we'll talk later, Dominic.
And then you just hear Lenore go, "Bitch!"
That's my girl. That's my girl.
Oh, I love
God,
that
I love
little
her.
Gonna
I love her so
you're gonna
much.
teach her to mimic those words.
Listen, Charles, it's getting late, and I think we should bed down. But, friend, hear me now. No matter what the future holds, we were put on this path together, and wherever that path takes us, we'll go there together.
It's funny. I think
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say when we first met, we were not on the same footing. You and
I
I.
just want cabbage.
Charles, I think if anyone is an example of people can change, I stand before you. Literally, I was a werewolf for like 2 days.
You were. Oh, yeah. No,
whole
yes, you
days.
were.
I mean, to be honest, I was kind of considering asking the Motokoffs to turn me into a wereraven.
Oh, Charles, no.
Gremlin, roll me insight.
Cool.
Or wait, sorry, insight's not your thing. Is it your thing? It's your thing, right? You have insight.
Not my thing.
It's like, no.
What about history?
Arcana's more Gremlin's thing.
Nah, it's
Actually?
not gonna be. Okay, just roll insight. It's fine. I'll make it. It'll be low because you know the family.
Yeah. How's a 12 do?
Sure, that's good enough. I've made it an 11, so that's fine. Okay, so you're pretty sure from everything that you know about the Martikovs, first of all, the only reason that they even mentioned it's the Keepers of the Feather to you guys now is because you've obtained all 3 gems and you're about to restore the family vineyard, and you guys are like, and because of you, really, because like your family. Secondly, you know that no one in the family has ever bequeathed it to someone outside of the family. They never offered it to you. If someone marries in, it's a choice, but they don't have to accept it. But they don't like make, you know for a fact they don't make were-raven. So you just saying you know this, whether you choose to tell Charles and read that is up to you, but you know this.
Yeah, Gremlin actually wouldn't hold that back, but
Okay.
He's gonna try and couch it a little bit kinder. Charles, I do not know for sure if that is a gift they do not commonly confer it. It is usually only for family members. It was never even offered to me as an option. So you may not be able to, but we will speak to them at the very least. It cannot hurt if it is something you truly wish.
I don't know if it's something I truly wish. It was just something that crossed my mind as when I was worrying a little bit before about losing everything. I wanted to still be able to help.
I understand. It is something to keep in mind. And if all else fails, there is always Clan of Werewolves.
I don't want... No. See, that's why I specifically asked earlier if becoming a raven makes you crazy, and they said no. So that's why I asked that question.
Well, if you want to become a vampire. he can hook you up with that too.
Larkspur,
love
you never even
vampire.
seen him drink blood.
Listen! Soon. That's all,
All
I
right.
gotta say.
All right.
Who wants to take first watch?
I'll take first watch. Why don't you all sleep? I'm fine. Besides, I'm working on a new song, and I won't keep you up. I promise.
Wake me up for a second, please.
Yeah, of course, Reverend.
I do not
All
need
right.
a lot of sleep, so if anybody wants to switch, just let me know.
Dominic, you said you took first watch?
Correct.
Cool.
I'll take last, and I'll leave the Nor with everyone on watch as well.
Okay. Can she be there while you're asleep? Yes, that's fine. Okay. So you all bed down for the night. You actually feel very safe. Larkspur, you especially feel safe in this circle. Now I realize you guys can't do watches tonight at some point. Someone's gonna have to fall asleep on their watch because you all have that dream together. So each of you make me a con saving throw, and we'll see which of the three of you falls asleep during your shift, and that'll be how we decide when this dream happened, because it already happened
it might be me.
canonically. It's probably you.
Oh,
That was my guess.
it's not me. I got
Definitely-
a 23.
You're already asleep. You're not taking a watch, Larkspur, so you're good. You're
Yeah,
just
you're right.
asleep.
Ain't Charles with a 25.
Yeah, Charles stays up. All right, what about you, Grumman?
14.
Okay, what was you? What was it, Dominic? What did you roll?
I got a 9.
Okay,
I rolled
all
a
right.
2. I have
So-
a good fiance.
Perfect. This works out. So what happens? So everyone kind of beds down for the night. You know, it feels very warm and comfortable. Larkspur, you feel great because it's like druid place. Feels
Oh, I
holy
feel
to
warm.
me.
I
Feels
feel
like
cozy. This could be my new home. If they
Yep.
left me right now, I'd probably be okay with it. I mean, I'd miss
Mhm.
them, but like I'm really comfortable right now.
You're great. So you bed down. You're fine. You know, you all go to sleep. And Dominic, you're awake for a little bit, and we're gonna talk because something's about to happen. But yeah, as the night falls, and even Lenore seems to sort of droop with just tiredness. Maybe it's just the way the night's been going or something. And Lenore seems to slip off and roost before even you fall asleep, Dominic. And whether it's, you know, just the way that the stars are blinking so peacefully, or just the way that the peaceful night wind is blowing and it's not as cold tonight as it's been, you feel a lot better here. You just start to nod off and to fall asleep. But before you do, Dominic, you hear the slightest voice, and in your dreams, you're not sure. The voice sounds like someone you've always known, and you're not sure at first. It comes in the soft tones of Lorelei, but then it sounds a little like Katerina, your mother, and you're not certain. It's a voice that's very familiar but very long ago forgotten and very lost to you. And it just says, "I can help you."
Am I able to respond, or is this just sort of a drifting voice through the?
You can respond, but I will say that you can't fight the tiredness that's coming over you. So like I'm gonna give you like maybe like one sentence response, you know, kind of a thing, and like maybe like or like back and forth a couple times, and then say
Sure.
that you.
Sure.
So, go ahead.
Mother, is that you? I
You
haven't heard
hear-
your voice in
Sorry.
decades.
And the voice laughs, and it's a girlish high laugh, and then it's something else a little lower, and you can't tell if it's Lorelei or your mother. In your mind, it doesn't disturb you that you're not sure who it is. Like it doesn't jar you. You just know that it's not possible. It's an impossible voice, and it gives kind of a laugh in answer, and it just says again, "I can help you, Dominic."
Help me what?
I can help you defeat Strahd and leave Barovia.
And how in the 9 hells can you do that, whoever you are?
Look for me in the mountains. And the voice kind of echoes, like, look for me, look for me, look for me. Like, it kind of does that weird, like, echo thing. And then it's just kind of silent. And those stars, man, they're just blinking overhead. And though you want to respond, you want to talk to it, you want to know more, you drift off to sleep. And here, for everyone watching, we actually did a special Christmas episode, which is not on YouTube yet. But this is when that took place. When they all fell asleep after this long rest, they all went and had a dream that they thought was real and defeated Krampus. I'm not joking. They defeated Krampus on Mount Gackus. It was this whole thing. You'll be able to watch it. You saved Crimblebimble. I don't even know if we named the festival Crimblebimble. Sure.
Oh, it was the Festival of the Lights, I think.
Festival of the Winter Stars. I don't know.
Winter
Whatever.
Star,
Anyway,
yes,
yeah, that
yes.
was it. Anyway, they did that, and they gave each other a bunch of gifts, and
It was very cute.
Real sweet moments in there.
yeah, there were, and you'll get to see it at some point on YouTube. But so anyway, that happened, and it seemed to be a dream because they woke up the next day, except that they all had the items that they gave each other in the dream. They still retained those. And so that's kind of weird, right? Why did that happen? I don't know. Anyway, so how this works, though, is you're going to wake up at the end of what was supposed to be your shift, Dominic, and you kind of jolt out of it. I'm going to say it takes you until morning to kind of remember the dream fully and, like, what happened, but you're not, like, talking about it overnight. And you can wake up Charles Henry for a second watch.
I wake Bremen.
Bremen, sorry.
Oh. Right. Mr. Martikov, come now. It's your turn.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Thank you. Get some sleep.
No, I think I'm seeing things or hearing things. Not sure. Yeah, watch out for Lenore. She's a sleepy little bird. And I kind of...
Well, we'll do.
That was the most adorable little noise.
That was really cute.
It was cute. Okay, so Dominic, you pass out. You pass the fuck out. You're just gone. Gremmin, please roll me a perception roll during your watch.
Sure. 18. Digital dice are nice and average tonight.
So average. Yeah, so nothing happens. Distantly, like high up on the mountain, you think you see some lights that look to you like torch lights, and you still don't fully remember your dream yet, so you're kind of like, I think I dreamt about a mountain. I think we were up on a mountain or something. I'm not really sure, because you're not fully, like, awake yet. You'll all remember it first thing in the morning. But other than that, your watch seems to pass pretty uneventfully. You're like, okay. About, I'm gonna say it's, like, probably, how long is your watch each? Like, 2 hours each? 3 hours each? Usually?
Probably like 2 or 3.
Like 2.5? Yeah.
2.5, roughly,
So, we're gonna say it's, like, past midnight, okay? Towards the very end of your watch, before you wake up Charles Henry, you hear distantly this sound, and you realize that it's a sound like the laughing of your niece. Your niece that you grew up with. So it was one of the Martikovs. She was in your family with you when you guys lived together before they were all killed by the undead. And you swear you hear her laughing. And it sounds like it's coming from the woods outside of the circle. Do you go to investigate it, or what do you do?
Gremlin will, instead of going to investigate, Gremlin will draw his sword and stand at attention, but not really try to approach, just sort of.
Okay.
He just wants to make sure he's ready just in case anything does come out of the woods, but he doesn't want to leave his friends and potentially get ambushed or anything like that.
Do you wake up anyone, or do you just let it go for now?
He's going to let it go for now and listen real carefully and make sure that nothing else is going to happen.
You hear her call your name once, just like off in the woods, and then there's just silence, and you hear nothing but the night winds.
Okay. After he hears her call his name, then he's going to go wake up Charles.
Okay. Perfect. It's the end of your shift anyway, so that works out.
Okay.
Yes.
Charles, is your turn to watch, but listen. Something in woods. Something in woods called my name. Sounded like dead niece. I am somewhat nervous. I do not think I think there might be something trying to, I don't know, mess with us or something like that. Keep careful ears out. I will be sleeping lightly.
Oh, that's all right. So, I imagine also Larkspur probably wakes up at this time since she only has to trance for like 4
Yeah, I was
hours.
gonna say she would definitely be like stretching. Dead niece? What?
Pop pop.
Just Gremlin's execution. Sounds like dead niece.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be up with Charles.
Okay. All right, both of you make me a perception check, please.
Okay.
Oh no.
I got an 11.
I got an 11 also, but Lenore got a 15.
Thank God for Lenore.
Okay, so he had said that there was something in the woods, so I'm gonna say that Charles Henri, you and Lenore and maybe even Larkspur taking turns kind of looking at the woods. Larkspur, you're a little distracted because you're trying to remember your dream from the night before because you know it was important, but you aren't really sure why. And you can be talking out loud to Charles about it, trying to recall the details together or not. But Charles, you definitely notice that there seems to be like a shadowy figure, maybe more than one, kind of like drifting through the woods, but they seem to be drifting away from you, kind of like reminiscent of how the fog was. And as you're watching it, you realize that it's sort of going like out over the fields and like up the side of the mountain and away from you.
I'll do the same. I'll light a stone and send Lenore to kind of get a closer view of these things.
Right, okay, so Lenore starts after them. They move with an unnatural fast speed. Like, she tries to catch up, and they seem to be going at least double or triple her movement. Like, she cannot keep up. And pretty soon, they kind of seem to vanish into the shadows of the mountain, and by the time she gets up there, yeah, it's just shadows on a mountain. However, you do see that there seems to be a camp of what looks to be maybe, barbarians or berserkers, similar to those that you saw on the road before, sleeping up on the mountain. There's like a camp of them together, in their furs, bedded down for the night with like a small fire. They don't seem like they're doing anything. There's like 4 of them.
So Lenore will since I can see through her eyes, I'll just dispel the light so that she doesn't attract attention to them, and then I'll have her fly closer to the camp to kind of assess the numbers.
Yeah, it seems to be 4 of them, and 2 women, 2 men. They're asleep. They're strangely enough, they're not keeping watch. I guess they're not scared of something on the mountain, or maybe they all fell asleep like you guys did. Who knows?
And I'll relay this information since I can't see and hear, but I can talk, and I will just tell Larkspur in a steady, calm voice what I'm viewing through her eyes, and then I guess I'll have Lenore come back.
Okay.
For everyone, Lenore is Charles Henri's Fey Raven familiar that is of Fey descent.
And with that, it is towards the end of the last watch and morning very shortly. Gray, cold, light, but a Barovian dawn. It is no longer as warm as it was the night before. It's definitely a fall now.
Is barely difference from nighttime to morning time. Is very consistent in Barovia.
I always forget there's like not a sun here. And I get like really scared for a whole second, and then I realize that this is just where we live now.
Did you remember that Barovia is the worst? Because this place is the fucking worst.
I did.
I live here.
Well,
I didn't say you were the worst. I said where you live is the worst.
You're not wrong.
I really regret giving you that ring, Larkspur, but
I'm sorry. I'm small and you're not having it back. Well, I'm tall, but I'm thin and small, and I'm baby. No, you can't have it back.
Your baby? Are you the baby Oaken Reaver, or you baby Oaken Reaver? Put on your big girl druid
I'm
pants.
feeling spicy. I'm sorry. I'm just really bitter that I couldn't remember my dream.
You know, I think I heard my mother's voice, but it wasn't her. It was really strange. Something about the mountains.
I heard voice of dead niece. Lots of bad memories.
I mean,
Maybe it's good. I don't remember my dream.
I also heard the voice of someone who's passed, but
There's a camp of nomads or barbarians like we saw on the path up the mountain. 4 of them.
interesting.
Should we go meet them after brief meal?
Why?
Ah,
Why
I
are we
would
going
like to
asking
go
for
back
trouble?
to the
I
vineyard.
mean, we're friends.
No.
I don't think they are friends.
Do you-
Barovia is the worst.
Are you sending Larkspur? Wow. Are you sending Lenora up to check to see if they're still there?
Yeah, I'll send Lenore to fly into the area. And I'll
Yeah,
look
as
through her eyes.
Lenore flies back over the area with using your eyes, you don't see them anymore. The camp is definitely there. They definitely spent the night there, but it looks like they were up earlier than the rest of you and moved on.
So there's traces of the camp. It's not like they were
Oh
abandoned.
yeah, it's not like they weren't ever there. Yeah, they were
Uh,
there, but they're not there now.
And kind of holding on to just Larkspur's shoulder. Seems like they have moved on. They broke a little bit earlier than we did, and she'll
Just
fly
fine
back.
then.
That's just a sign that we do not need to meet them.
Honestly,
that is a sign.
I think we also have much more pressing matters. We need to go with the your family to restore the vineyard, and then
The vineyard.
I think we have a dragon knight to help put to rest, and the dragon.
To
Dominic,
the
would you like to
winery?
borrow the ring? The winery. To
Also-
the winery.
To the winery!
That
no,
is-
no, 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 no.
That's a lovely
No, no,
shield
no,
you
no.
have, Gremlin.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So guys, explain for the audience who has not yet seen the Christmas episode what that gift is, because I think it's hilarious.
Oh yes, Where did this come from?
You remember the
Was
dream
this-
now. All of you remember the dream.
I'm
I
in
thought
better
it was
clothes.
dream and not real thing. But is so Gremlin will Gremlin will pull the shield of expression off of his back. It is in all ways a regular shield, but the front of it has the likeness of a face on it. And while wearing the shield, I can use a bonus action to change its expression. Technically, I can make it whatever I want, but Revan typically uses it to represent his mood almost involuntarily. So, so when he is outwardly scowling and using his resting grump face, the shield might just be pretty cheerful and relaxed. So it's a useful barometer for his mood.
Ralph, you need like index cards, right? And draw smiley faces or sad
And
faces,
just hold them up.
and then just slowly rise them up.
I'll
put them
I'll
down.
have them ready for next game.
That's
Promise.
hilarious.
Oh,
I love
man.
it.
I love that.
Reminds me when we used to use the plate.
That's the way back.
So, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Loxpa, that armor is rather fetching. Only someone
Yeah.
of impeccable taste. Oh, right, it was me.
It is very beautiful. So for the audience that don't know, Lark was kind of wearing very like just really beat up, like a green dress that literally had holes in it because like it would get caught in branches or something. She was like not of fashion. But her lovely friend Dominic has now provided her with a beautiful thing of armor that is all different fall colors, right, Rennie? It's like
So it's all
different fall colors.
colors, and embossed in the leather of the armor are different predatory animals, sort of in this sort of tribal dance where one animal flows into the next animal kind of thing.
Yeah, to represent like her wild shape and everything like that. Lark is excited about it.
All right. So as a group, you all get up, you make your breakfast without any problems, eat your food, whatever. Start on the road, and go up back down the Svalich Road, back in the direction of the winery. I'm gonna roll something real quick, and yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, we load that skull into our wagon and we take
Of
it.
course, I assume.
I apologize to
alright.
Dominic for joking around
Question:
about the
what are you
ring.
going to do with the bloody thing?
What? The skull? Well, I mean, I was considering to see if we could speak to it. We could find out information. But the other option is I was going to bring it to its ghost to put it to rest. They might have a tomb beneath. You know, they might have a proper resting place.
So he puts it to rest. I want to use it to make a hat.
No, he is not going to do that.
But
It's-
it would be perfect hat.
you're
You
so
know, Gremlin, I can shrink it, and you could.
Exactly. That is what
No.
I am thinking of.
no. I'm pretty sure being used as a chariot was insult enough.
Respect.
I
for
think
the
that
dead.
Charles has a point there.
He
Well,
probably
as
does, but
opposed
I wanted
to-
a new hat.
Then
I will
kill
say,
my rightful
Charles,
foe.
as opposed to riding the skull would be riding him.
No.
I tried, Gremlin.
There's
Sorry.
something about that is worse, in my
appreciate
opinion.
that.
I hated that sentence from the beginning to the end. It was. I hated every minute of that sentence.
What?
Wait,
Take
did
a
Larkspur
step
hate
back,
that sentence?
friends.
Or did Caitlin
Oh,
take
yes.
that
Oh
sentence?
no, Lark was like, that. I don't like that. So I know what you meant, but that doesn't mean my brain didn't see something else.
So,
You have
all
a
right.
dirty kind of mind, woman.
I spent half of my time on a boat with other men. Like,
That explains a lot.
Okay, so
Doesn't it, though?
Dragon Skull hat aside, you guys start to go, and as you're going on your journey, as you're traveling, say at one point in the middle of the road, you see something that to you looks like a child lying in the. Do you stop? Do you get out? What do you do?
Yeah, we
oh
definitely
yeah.
stop.
Oh, listen,
Okay,
I
cool.
will jump off the wagon if we
Yeah,
don't stop.
I'll pull the wagon to a stop and
Friends, be cautious. This is Ravenloft, after all.
It's true, but you know, it could actually be a child in need. It's probably not, but let's go.
yeah.
It could
Okay.
be.
I'm like 2
Caution.
steps behind Larkspur.
Great. So
Uh,
you. Oh, go ahead. Do you
Oh
want to
no,
do
go
something?
ahead. Oh, Lark is just no. I was looking to see if I had any like special.
You can
thing
roll
to
me a
see if
perception check before you run up if you want to be cautious. You do
Yeah,
that.
Lark is headed towards it, but she will slow down a little bit when he says that. I will roll perception with not the dice that betrayed me earlier, and that is a 20, not nat.
Okay, sure. So, from your perspective, this child that's lying on the ground is face down, and there's something just off about her hair. And with that 20, you kind of realize, man, that really looks like a fake hair or something. Like it doesn't look quite
no.
real. Something's off about it.
Guys, I don't trust this. I don't.
This
Would it
is
remind
what
me
we
of the
call-
hair? Yeah, would it remind me of like doll hair? Because we've seen
Yes.
Blinsky's dolls.
Yes, it would.
That's not a child. I think we
Alright.
should
Here, ready
get back on the wagon.
ready yourselves from this distance, and
Kick it.
I will send Lenore to kind of peck and pull at this doll hair.
Well, didn't Larkspur pick it up?
No, Lark did
Oh,
No,
not.
okay.
no, that was just from looking at it. She could
Oh,
tell
I
something
gotcha.
was off. Cause,
Gotcha.
are you guys gonna like do anything to it or just get back on the wagon? What are you doing? Sorry.
I'm gonna approach it as
Okay.
as Lenore flies overhead. I'm gonna take out my rapier and I'm gonna do that like as far as I can be, but still like tip it, like flip it over with the end of my
Great.
rapier.
Cool. So as your rapier hits the edge of it, it sinks in, but not like flesh. It sinks in like fabric, and you realize it's a doll.
Is this one of fucking Blinsky's?
I-
I swear.
I
to
bet-
Lord,
I bet it is a doll of Larkspur, and it is how Strahd is sending us a threat. That is my wager.
Is the doll does it have pink hair?
It does.
No!
And you know, weirdly, it kind of looks like the dress you were wearing when you first came to town a little bit.
Mhm.
Julia, at this revelation, I will skewer the doll fully and lift it into the air and sort of gesture it towards Lark. Would you like your doll, dear?
It is faceless.
Oh, I like
Do
this
I?
less.
I still have my face, yeah? Okay. I'm gonna take the doll,
It-
actually. Yeah.
Remember
I'm
last
gonna
time we
very carefully, like,
touched a doll?
No, what happened last time we touched the doll?
Didn't you touch something that was cursed?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I remember that. It was not doll, though.
It happened yesterday, Gremlin.
Sometimes it feels like weeks since we talked. I do not know how to explain,
time
but
in Barovia just drags.
I think
it really does.
we should burn it.
Well, listen, it has Larkspur's likeness, mostly. So I'm going to say.
But what if a little druid girl dropped it because she wanted a doll of the Oaken Reaver?
And she rubbed it, took its face
She
off?
dropped it, and listen, who knows what Blinsky did? Maybe Blinsky's making faceless ragdolls. We don't know. Fine, just burn it.
So
Just do it.
if you guys are examining the doll, you definitely will find a "is no fun, is no Blinsky"
It's
tag
a
on it.
Blinsky doll. Do not burn it. It's mine. Hold on, Lark is like now like going through it, and she's like, and then she realizes she's touching her antlers. And Julia, have they grown?
Your antlers did grow a little bit more overnight. They're getting to almost be full-size antlers. Pretty soon you're gonna have full-sized antlers on your
Nice.
head.
All right, you know, I understand it's a reasonably now. It is a Blinsky doll, but that does not mean that it's not been cursed by Strahd.
I mean,
We should burn
honestly,
it.
if you have something of someone's, it's easier to scry them.
Lark, if you
Yeah.
really want a doll and you're a very good girl, I'll buy you one.
Okay.
And as
Do you
soon as
promise?
she says okay,
No, she holds out her pinky before he even does anything.
I promise. And I will hold her hand, and the moment we pinky touch, firebolt.
No, the doll, not you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, Lark's eyes just. She feels kind of like the static. It frizzes her hair just a tiny bit. Part of me feels like it was also just blown up just a little bit. I'm just saying. Now,
Also,
yeah.
So no, I was just gonna say, have you actually described yourself today for the audience yet? Because people are asking about the antlers in the chat, and it just occurred to me. I don't know if you actually did.
Did not. So I will explain it. I was waiting for like a bigger Lark moment to explain it, but
That's
okay.
fine.
So Larkspur is a full-blood elf, a wood elf. She was raised in the woods. She is about 6 feet tall, very slender, but underneath the slenderness is actually just pure muscle. She's a very strong girl. She has very long, flowy, like pastel pink hair, and then forest green eyes that would match the trees right as summer has started. And she's now in her new armor, which my friend has kindly explained. And over the course of time, Larkspur happened to wake up one day, and she had tiny little fuzzy nubs coming right from her head. She had a slight existential crisis from them, and still does not know what they are. But as she continues to sleep, her eyebrows get fuzzy and fuzzier, and the stubs have now started to grow and sprout into like fawn antlers. They are a very light rosy brown.
Yeah, and like anyone familiar with the fluffy brow trend that's like TikTok everywhere, like that's pretty much her brows are becoming like fluffy brows and like just random antlers growing, and no one knows why yet. Or yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's that. Sorry, guys.
So with the fire bolting of the doll, there doesn't seem to be anything else happening in the rest of your journey. is uneventful at that point. Although Skellicat does crawl out from underneath
My
the dragon
baby.
skull at one point. You didn't even know that Skellicat was there. It must have jumped into the
Yeah.
cart at some point, and it kind of stretches its long skeleton legs and comes up and starts to knead Charles Unlee's leg.
Oh no, no, baby, no. Come here. No. That's not the one. Go to any other man, please come, and he will scoop her up.
It like
Right.
jumps. It kind of jumps and does a cat rub against you with a rattle of bones, and then kind of goes and lays down a Dominic flat.
I'm still
crunchy stretch.
listen. Every time you claim that Gremlin is a vampire, just brings me closer and closer to thinking that cat is undead. Just throwing it out there.
She loves you. She just proved that. Do
It
you
is a
ever
skeleton.
notice cats like the people who don't want anything to do with them? This is just proving it.
It is my
She
holy
loves
mission to destroy all undeath.
Well, then destroy Gremlins.
Not
Destroy
undead.
Just out of curiosity,
You will turn
Julia.
this wagon around, all right?
As you,
I'm driving.
as you ride down the road and you start to see the familiar sign of the winery, I did move you to the winery map. You don't need to pull it up because I don't know if you're actually going to be doing anything on the map. Like, it's up to you. I'm fine with just theater of the minding it.
Sure.
But you pull up to the familiar grounds of the winery, except something is different, and that is that the winery, which does seem to have been repaired in the last week since you've been there, week and a half. You've been in Barovia for about a month, so I think it's only been like a week.
Whew.
But anyway, in the time
Feels like
since
a
you've
year
been
and a
there,
half.
I know, right? It feels like for us, it's been a year plus. For the characters, it's been like a month. So yeah,
I mean, quarantine counts as like 18 years.
what counts as 18 years?
Quarantine.
Oh yeah, that's fair. It's been 1,000
point.
years since the start of quarantine when we actually could do this
Basically,
in
just
person.
Barovia.
We've been in Barovia that whole time. That's what it is, guys. We kill Strahd. That's how we end.
And then the world is saved thanks to Despoir.
Yes. Anyway, so
If
as
only
you
it could be
ride,
that easy.
I know, right? As you ride up the road, you see that most of the winery has been repaired. There's still some parts that are still with fresh boards, like that are being painted, clearly in the middle of painting. But all the lights are lit from top to bottom. You can hear loud music from somewhere within, and not only that, there's a huge sign hanging from the ceiling that is handwritten kind of badly, but it says "Welcome Vol Despoir." It is not spelled correctly.
That's us.
Like Caitlin spelling it in real life. Cool. I have to copy and paste it every time, guys.
Family is so kind. I love
They made
family.
us a bloody sign. That's.
We're famous.
They are
You
good
know, I've
people.
had my name in letters, big letters before, but
Mm.
this is good, guys.
Is this
We're
what that
making
feels
it.
like?
That's a
Good.
sign, literally.
It is a sign.
I'm going to tell you, just so you guys can relax a little bit, that this next part will be an interlude. So you don't need to be afraid that something is randomly going to come and attack you. This part is an interlude, so just know that in all your roleplay that there's not something that's suddenly going to come in and attack you for this portion while you are going to the
That seems
winery.
like a setup, but
Julia,
okay.
I
It's not.
did as you asked, and I came up with something. Just by the way.
Okay.
When
Good.
the time
Perfect.
comes.
Perfect. Okay, so you ride up and Danica comes bursting out of the door and is like, "Cousin! Friends! Hello!" And
Cousin, it's good to see you.
she runs up and gives Gremlin a big old hug. And she's like, "I woke up this morning from very strange dream, and I had all these gifts that you gave me, which was very weird, because in dream I was in... But I had come here night before, after family gathering was called, but because of you. Yes, come in, we have breakfast, did you eat breakfast already? I suppose it's lunchtime. We have lunch for you. It's just been constant side dishes and things all day. Just come, there's food."
Sounds
could eat.
excellent. It was a magic dream, by the way. We all have lots of gifts.
Magic
Was
dream.
time. Yes.
Why magic dream? I wonder
No
why
idea.
last night.
Not sure.
You were in
It
it.
was probably a Christmas miracle.
Yes, I remember you. And you were there, and you were there, and Skeleton Cat was not there. Get out! Go chase some rats. Make yourself useful.
I summoned an
Listen
angel.
to the lady.
I remember summoning an angel.
I just remember saying
Silly
that I will.
boys.
I don't remember that part of...
Oh.
What's happening?
I don't know what just happened.
just
Something
lost.
violent, and there was an
Uh,
upheaval.
internet issue, but we'll be fixing it, guys. Don't worry. Sorry about
No,
that.
it's fine.
Things
No, it's
got
fine.
weird.
I've already been kicked out once before, and I don't know why. So it's definitely like not the first time.
All right, we're good, right?
You just need video, and then we'll be good again.
And we're
Yep,
back.
I'm sorry about that, guys. I thought it was on my end. Apologies.
It's funny because I'm watching it. About to happen
I guess
live for everyone else. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so is it all? Are all the videos where they should be? Are we good?
They look good on Twitch as I'm.
Yep.
peeking
Okay.
a
Good. I
little
guess it's
bit.
back. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. It says my internet's fine on this side too, but apparently it's not because it tried to do that to me before. I'm not in Roll20 right now. I had to stop running it because it just crashed completely when I tried. So we'll have to see what I need to do later. Okay, anyway, back to the story. So, yeah, so Danica yells at Skeleton Cat, and Skeleton Cat kind of jumps and skitters into the field, probably to go find some mice and eat it in its weird skeleton ribs like it's been doing. So, anyway, what do you guys do?
I guess we'll park the wagon.
Okay.
And I'll hop off. And are they throwing a party for us, Danica? Is this for us?
This is for you, for everything that you've done for family. And we know that it takes a long time for ritual because Larkspur tried this once before for family. So, we thought we should have food and refreshments while you are doing this.
Right. Druid ritual. Party, though. Let's go to
Party,
the
come to the party! Okay, you walk into the house. First of all, it is like the loudest that you've ever heard in a house. Maybe not. I mean, it's definitely like all the Mardikovs, or at least most of the Mardikovs, seem to be there. Erwin is not there, interestingly enough, although you've barely seen sight of him anyway, but Erwin's not there. Danica's kids are there. They come running through as soon as you come in, just disappear off into the sun. Children! Stop running! You'll break my father-in-law's house!
Do not listen
God.
to her. Keep running.
No! Oh, gods. Anyway, Morning Lord, I don't know what to do anymore. All right, come in. And she kind of leads you back to the kitchen, which you're familiar with because you've been in there before. But last time it was kind of porridge, and this time there's a spread. Like, clearly Erwin was up all night cooking. Maybe that's why he's not here. Maybe he got pulled into Burgermeister duties in Vallaki. You're not sure. Anyway, huge spread. There's like ham and there's boiled eggs and all these like little side dishes of like various pickled things, like pickled beets, and non-pickled things for those who hate pickled things, like various potato salads and weird fish salads that you're not really familiar with. And it's a very big, loud, happy house right now.
Bremen has
This is
most of a
beautiful.
ham in his mouth.
Just the whole ham. It's like
Just like he just ripped a whole chunk off, and he's just gnawing on it as he walks around looking for other things to fill the gaps in with.
Yeah, and Danica just pats him on the back like, "Oh, cousin, always a good appetite. That's good."
Hungry.
Yeah. So, we don't mean to pressure you, but as soon as you are ready to start on ritual, do you need your friends with you? Should you all eat first?
I would like my friends with me, but I would like them to enjoy their meal first.
All right, so you guys sit down, you eat your food. Definitely a lot of the Mardikovs are talking, and from as of before, the patriarch of the family, whose name I can never seem to remember. It's Davian, I believe. I'm gonna check that, though. I don't know why his name always slips my head. Probably because Danica's like my favorite person ever, so I just forget everyone else.
Best girl. She's best girl.
Danica should just be the head of the family. It's fine. But
I
anyway,
love her so much.
I love playing her. All right, whatever. I'm gonna say it's Davian. I'm pretty sure I'm right. So Davian Mardikov approaches you with his hands out. One of hand out because one of his hands is on his cane, and he reaches out to you guys. And do you take his hand? I assume Larkspur or someone. Cool.
I will.
And he puts his cane under his arm so he can kind of lean on it, and he pats your hand, and he's like, "I thank you for all you have done for my family. And you do not know what this means to us to have the gems at last back with us again."
I'm so glad we could finally help. It broke my heart the first time we couldn't do it.
You must know, we will stand guard around the perimeter of the winery while you do your ritual. Myself, and my family, he looks at everyone in the room, will keep watch for you in case anything should try to disturb it.
That is very kind, and I appreciate the extra help.
And he kind of nods to you, pats your hand again, and sort of gives you an old man whiskery wet kiss on your cheek, and then kind of waves an arm up, and everyone's like, ah, and starts passing around. And Danica's like, we have bathtub gin, we have what is left of some red dragon crush, and lots of the crap stuff. Don't drink that. Here, more gin for you. And she hands it out. Erwin has been brewing new batch of bathtub gin. Dominic actually inspired the idea. We've been adding lavender to it. It's been very interesting flavor. Yes, it's the Vol Despoir has been helping many people have new ideas. Well, if we couldn't have wine, we would make the gin, so...
Fremen will pass on lavender gin.
Yes, I knew you wouldn't want it anyway, cousin.
You won't drink the gin that I inspired? You wound me, Gremin. I am wounded.
I will find the magic spellbook and cast Cure Wounds. Will not drink gin.
Oh,
You're no fun.
ooh. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So are we doing the party and dancing and romping bit after the ritual, or is that before?
Right now it is just, we are just welcoming you in, but you're hearing them singing anyway. She's like, well, we'll have to break it up so they can guard perimeter. We will stop for ritual and then resume later. The children, we will leave some babysitters with the children. They will not be participating. We don't want to put them in danger again.
Danica, I'll go take care of the I'll break him up. Don't worry.
Okay.
You stop, and Dominic will quickly excuse himself to go hang out with the singers.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's definitely one or two very young, pretty Mardikovs that you've never seen before, and actually you realize that one of them was probably one of the women that was captured, but she's all cleaned up now and she's very beautiful. And as she kind of is sitting there listening to the music, kind of makes eye contact with you and is very shy, thank you,
I give her a patented Dominic wink.
Yeah.
And after I kind of wink at her, I look around, and completely against what I told Danica I was going to do. I kind of stand up on a table and I sling that golden lyre around me, and I go, it can't be a party if there isn't dancing. Now, boys, girls, women and men of all ages, I know you know this one. As I get home on Monday night, is drunk and I just go into the body songs and get the place moving.
Oh yeah. And they dance. They like it.
And whatever Danica thought I was doing, I am just rabble-rousing harder.
Danica doesn't seem to care right now because she's too busy serving people food and making sure everyone has things and checking in on Gremlin and poking at him and stuff, and cousin, you need to eat more. You're too skinny, poking your belly.
Danica, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
What is this beard? What is this beard? What is happening here?
Is I think his magic belt. I am growing beard much bigger than was before, and
it's bigger than Erwin's.
You are poking solid muscle. Why you saying is fine. I'm ripped.
She lifts up the shirt to check. She's like, yeah, all right, fine, and walks away. And she's like, fine, whatever. But beard is if it's longer than Erwin's, it's too long. It's just too much. Too much.
It's fine. Larkspur, what do you say, Larkspur?
Well, Dominic has actually helped a great deal for me to realize I cannot do the ritual until the moon is in the sky. So if everybody would like to fill their bellies or party or whatever,
then we party until the moon is out. Hey, hey! So the music starts up again, and it basically just becomes one long party. Charles Henry, are you partaking? What are you doing?
Charles will probably partake, but off to the side. He's not really a partier, so he just hangs out. And
Danica tries to drag him in at some points, come here, I dance with you if no one dances with you. She's trying to get you in.
He knows the barn raising dances, he will participate, but his heart's not in it. He doesn't he's definitely constantly looking over the crowd, and clearly the person he would like to be dancing with is not there. So he's he still likes it, but he's just, he understands that he got shit to do, and this is nice, but he could be doing other stuff.
Okay. About part of the way through the afternoon, Danica's like, well, I thought we would do after, but I guess we do now. I have surprise for you. And she shows you a poster from town, like from Valaki, clearly. No, it does not say all is well, don't worry. And on the poster, it's like every Friday night, like the Ballad of Despoir, and it's like this thing that's clearly like a theater company kind of a thing. Like she's like, they started doing it after you left. I want you to know that this has been like the third performance, and they say they're going to do it every Friday now because of you, or whatever Friday, not Friday, but
They wrote a play about what we did. Dominic has like a really serious moment, and they wrote songs.
Danica like hugs you. She's like, "Oh God, Dominic, oh no."
Oh, I'm touched.
You have touched Dominic's heart
I
in a
could
way
see
no
that
one
we
else
have.
can.
Oh,
man.
so yeah, so that's kind of going on, and things are very happy, and yeah, the day continues on without incident. Just a lot of singing. Are you guys like keeping sober, getting drunk, and then getting sober? Like, what are we doing here? Will you be sober for the ritual? Is all I need to know.
Lark has not touched any alcohol.
Okay.
Generally she would, but she knows that this is super important to her in general, because again, she felt terrible the first time, but it's really like obviously important to this entire family. So she's just, if anything, she's asked. I'm assuming Dominic is the one carrying the gems because he has the bag of holding, correct? At one point she probably would ask Dominic if she could see the gem, and she's kind of just focusing on trying to get her head in the game for later and eating
Sure.
now and then.
And the gems are 3 different shapes and 3 different sizes, and one of them is kind of a yellowish gem. One of them is a green gem, which is the one that you pulled from the witch's hut, and the third is a red gem. Just so you know, those are kind of the 3 different gems, and they are large. Like they will fit entirely in the palm of your hand, just one of them. So they're pretty big. Yeah. Well, one of them's pretty big. I feel like the other ones I said were a little smaller, but yeah.
Charles will head over to Larkspur during the party while she's like prepping with the gems. Do you need like holy water to help cleanse them?
I should be good. I have something in mind for when it comes to cleansing them, but I will need your help at one point. I would like for you, if you are all right with it. I don't trust anybody else digging a hole more than I trust our gravedigger over here, and the land is basically dead right now, so it would be like digging a grave for the land itself. Would you do that for me during the ritual?
Of course.
I would really appreciate that.
Anything.
Thank you. Are you all right? I know you were feeling a little off earlier.
I mean, after that dream we had together, it really lifted my spirits. And I do recall summoning an angel that made me feel good. And saving those children.
Yeah. Julia, are the children at this party?
Oh yeah, they already ran by once. Speaking of, kind of at that, they're running through, and you just hear Danica going, "Children!" And that's it.
And speak of the little devils, basically.
But I mean, I enjoy the party, but I like to keep my senses here because even though they say they are guarding it, it does not mean that all is well.
We've learned that the hard way here, haven't we?
I heard that phrase and went.
Just instinctively PTSD flinch, like, no.
Any other time I'd like to have a drink and just relax. It's at this point in my blood. But I feel like I have to keep a level mind.
Yes.
There's too much at stake.
And if we need, I can summon protectors to defend the area for a little bit.
That would be amazing if you'd like to do that. I would appreciate that. I plan on having Bremen follow me as I go about my duties as you're digging, and I have to ask Dominic something when the time comes too. But I would appreciate all of your help. We've been in this together from the beginning. I'm not gonna do this by myself without you guys. You've had equal part in finding all of these. If anything, you've done a bulk of the work. So we're all in this for the long haul at this point.
You guys realize at this point Esmeralda did not come with you, and you realize that Esmeralda was not with you in the circle when you woke up this morning. But there were, now that you think about it, there were like tracks, like she's probably maybe taken a horse or something. In fact, it's not uncommon for her to wander off, so it's not weird, but it is weird that she didn't say goodbye to you guys. You do notice that.
She may have her own
Kind of.
business.
Yeah, she's very come and go. She's a lady of her own agenda, so I respect that.
Okay. It is nightfall. There has been drink and food all day. It seems to never end. At some point, Danica loads the kids up in a wagon, and she's like, I am going to take home to Erwin. I will be back in a few hours to join with guard duty. But I wish you luck. And she gives
Cousin,
each of you a hug.
bring someone else with you, please. Do not go by yourself.
Oh, no, I will not go alone. Yeah, some of her brothers-in-laws jump in with her, too.
Okay, that's good.
And they are, like, heavily armed, too.
I guess now's as good a time as ever, huh? Is everybody feeling okay? Yeah?
Yes.
I'm ready for anything.
I mean, my throat's a little sore, but I'm sure I can.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned your vocal abilities because I have a favor to ask of you during this ritual. Would you
Oh?
play your lute, nice, just smooth, melodic, anything that could be very zen, just to set the mood and put your heart into it.
You're looking
trust you.
for calming and rhythmic, yeah?
Yes. Just the vibe I'm going for is a nice warm spot under a tree in the middle of spring. Does that make sense?
I think it does. My mother, she taught me a song when I was young. She called it The Autumn's Nocturne. And, yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember how it goes.
Perfect. And don't strain your vocals if you need to just start playing without singing. I'm whatever you want.
I think this one will be instrumental. I think it'll help
Perfect.
your focus if
That
my
is exactly
voice doesn't detract from it.
what I wanted to go for. But while I love your singing, I feel like you
Oh,
being able to
stop.
put your heart into the strings tonight might exactly what we need.
Not a problem,
and with-
love.
Thank you, Dominic. And with that, Lark will gather the stones and approach Gremlin. She will gesture if he will take them from her.
I will take nap, yes. No, I
If
will
you'd
take stones here.
like.
No, yeah. Only kidding. Here, I take stones.
Gremlin, while I do this tonight, will you be basically my bodyguard through this all, make sure nothing happens?
Of course. I
mean,
trust my family, but
I
cannot
but
have
just
more help.
for you close to me, they are going to be on, I'm assuming, the outskirts of everything, but I'm going to need you close by. I'm going to be wandering the land a lot tonight, I think.
Yes, I will be there.
Locke, this ritual, it will take hours, yeah?
I would like for us to do a full ritual, so it's going to take about 8 hours, which obviously you do not have to sing or play your instrument for 8 hours. You do not have to dig for 8 hours. Unfortunately, Gremlin will have to stay with you through the entire process. But
listen, I once closed out an entire bar in Baldur's Gate. For 3 hours did I play, and I outlasted every other one of those singers. Believe it or not, I think I can handle this.
I mean, I believe in you. I care about all of your well-being. That's all.
I do not know
But
where
you've
that
got
is.
this.
That sounds impressive.
You don't know where? Oh, I keep forgetting you're. Sorry, you're like an old mate. It's weird that you're not from the places I'm from.
I am from here. It is weird. I would very much like to see them, though.
We can do better than Baldur's Gate, but yes. Lark, can I ask another question before things get started, yeah?
Of course, yeah.
Are you invoking Selune when you do this?
I'm going to ask her for assistance. Yeah.
Now, again, I'm not a religious man, But it seems to me that your goddess represents the moon, or the other way around. I'm not really sure how that works. But I think for your best interest, perhaps the closer to the moon you
Oh,
can
we're going
be.
outside for this. Yeah.
Oh, I meant, and Dominic literally points to the sky.
Oh, I don't disagree with you, but something's telling me I need to be rooted tonight. Does
Very
that make
well.
sense? Thank you, though,
No,
Dominic.
of
That's
course.
very clever, and I wish I had considered that, but something in my heart is telling me that I need to be on the ground.
And Dominic will put like a very firm hand on your shoulder. Larkspur, your heart has guided you this far. I think it's a wise thing to listen to.
Thank you.
Very
Uh,
well. You just tell me where you want me, love.
all right, and we will go outside, Julia, and
Okay.
I will have Lark look around the vineyard and see what is the best place for her to find a spot for these gems. And she's going to go right back to where she tried to restore the land before. Like she is literally guided, almost like a leash pulling her in that direction, the
Okay.
exact spot where it
Yep.
failed.
You find it. Yep.
Um,
And you remember, yeah, you go to that spot and you remember how just dead and barren and lifeless that ground felt as you approach it. But now there's that hope because you have something that could change it. Um, Before we start this ritual, do you
mhm.
guys mind if we take a 20-minute break? Because I feel like I told you it was going to be around this time, and I don't want to push it off because then stuff might happen. So I'd like to do that first, if it's okay.
That
All right,
sounds
everyone, we'll
good
be
to me.
back in 20 minutes. Go get your whatever you're going to get. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Despoir, Curse of Strahd, episode 26, 27, we don't know. If you're just joining us, we're about to embark on some crazy moon ritual shenanigans. So, as we left our party, they were approaching the outside of the winery. So, let's go.
So Lark is now in front of the space that she remembers very well, and she looks to her friends and her companions, and you are more than welcome to head in any direction you want for the song, Dominic. Charles, if you could dig this up and make it a nice size hole, but not technically 6 feet, um, I'd be appreciative of that.
Of course.
Um, and when you guys are ready, let's do this.
All right. I suppose start when you hear the lyre strum, and Julia, I would like to climb the Martikoff winery and position myself on the roof.
As you did in the past to watch
Nice.
the
Oh,
Yesterhill, I remember. Very cool echo of that previous time that viewers will soon remember. Hopefully.
Sure.
Anyway.
It'll all make sense in post.
It does in post. We'll fix it in post. It's fine.
so Lark will look up, and it will actually touch her heart, even if it's not his intentions that he is now closer to her goddess. All right. So, guess let's begin. And with that, Larkspur is holding her staff of the woodland. It's a very long staff that has various different branches entangling each other. And on top of the staff is her druidic focus stone. It is a large opal stone. It is kind of iridescent and it glows with the moonlight. And when the moon shines on it, it almost gives like a bluish tinge to it. It is wrapped in copper brass to stay upon the top of the staff. And with her motion, she takes off her shoes. And she is now completely barefoot. So she can as well plant herself into the ground in a way to be like one with the earth.
As this happens, you notice that there is from the house a flock of ravens flies up and over the fields and spreads out, and they land in a careful circle in various places along the fence and trees, all surrounding the winery. They form almost a complete circle of ravens, and they sit silent in the trees watching. Not only that, but is anyone looking in the direction of the front path of the winery? You guys are kind of, I remember, like in the middle, so is anyone looking up the front path?
I imagine from my vantage
from
point,
your vantage point, yes, you can see that creeping up the road, not in a weird way, but creeping up the road, you realize is a pack of werewolves as they slowly spread out and seem to be sitting at regular intervals, and you realize that it is Bright Claw's group as they just sort of sit patiently and wait.
Nice.
Sorry, give me 1 minute. All right, so Lark takes in a deep breath and looks up to the moon, and she closes her eyes, and she just puts her all into her focus for a minute, and she's holding her staff tightly, and you hear in a loud voice coming from this beautiful elven, almost princess-like woman. She says, "Great Saluna of the sky, hear my words as I cry. The soil once rich and full of life, help it once more grow from strife. With great powers close at hand, help us recreate a bountiful land." And with that, Lark takes her staff and jams it into the earth. And it is standing now straight up.
When you do that, there is definitely this pulse of power from underneath the soil, and all of you feel it. Even you, Grumman, for not being the least magical of the group. It seems to echo in your sword hilt, and it seems to echo in your lyre a little bit like that sound when wind hits the strings of an instrument and it vibrates but doesn't fully resonate, and it resonates within the soundboard. It has that sort of feel. And Charles Henri, it reminds you very much of whenever you've spoken with your goddess, that you feel this sort of sudden thrum of magic in the air.
And she will nod to Charles, if he hasn't started, to start digging the grave so that he could start digging it now. And she's sorry, go ahead.
Nope. And he will silently do the task that he has done alone many, many nights by himself.
Oh, sorry, can you one moment? So she watches as her friend is now digging the grave of the land that before her because the land is very much dead, and she moves to Gremin, who I'm assuming is standing close by, and he's holding the gems before her. Right? Is that right, Ralph?
Yeah, I was still holding on to them from when we left off.
Mm-hmm. Okay. She then collects the gems very carefully from Gremin and places them almost like a baby in her arms, but very carefully holding them in front of her so the moonlight touches and glows and almost shines the light off of each gem. And she walks to the grave that Charles is now doing, and she bends before him and starts carefully placing each gem in a very specific pattern, almost like a crescent moon, inside this hole. Um, Go ahead, Julia. Sorry.
Dominic, from your place up on the roof, you can see all this going on, and some movement in the distance catches your eye, and you see that back towards the hill, back towards Barovia and Volaki, you see that there are storm clouds gathering in the sky in the distance. So far,
Okay.
they're just gathering, but you do notice, like, you see some lightning flashing in the distance, of purple lightning through the black clouds that you can just see.
I'll take note of it, but I do not.
That's
I
fine.
do not disrupt what is happening before me.
um, she kneels before the ground before her and takes a moment to listen to Dominic's lute, as I'm assuming he is playing a beautiful melody.
So Dominic begins to play,
Mhm.
and as he does, this golden, very enchanted lyre begins to, kind of cascade this song out of it and over the land and kind of enter all of you. And words begin to come to Dominic almost unheeded. And he begins to sing. I thought I heard Seluna say, Reaver, oak and reaver, tonight you'll pray, and it's time for you to reave her. Reaver, oak and reaver, oh, reaver, oak and reaver. For the voyage is long and the winds will blow, and it's time for you to reave her. And the song will continue in that same kind of timbre and cadence. And Julia, I am going to attempt to play, and the song will kind of like, the words won't sort of drown out what's happening, but I
Sure.
will attempt to play for the entirety of the 8 hours.
Okay.
Um, and at the peak of every other hour, I'm giving Larkspur a bardic inspiration.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna say at the count of hour 3, whenever you guys decide that is in
Mhm.
the thing, that you will need to make me a Constitution saving throw, Rennie, just to determine if you can keep playing,
Mhm.
because that's the longest that we know of that you've been able to play. So that will, and honestly, at that point, as a musician myself, I know that's the point where you start to flag. So
Oh yeah.
that'll be the point that we'll say. All right, so the ritual continues, and Larkspur, you definitely can feel like, yes, this magic is gathering. It reminds you very much of that moon ritual in the forest that Phelan conducted for you when you were trying to restore the power of the full moon and the werewolves back to its rightful place. And it definitely has that same vibe of that just forest folk, old magic, the magic that you're used to from the Celebros clan back home. It definitely has that same feel. And again, sort of through the rows of the dark winery, you think, but you're not sure, that you might catch a white figure walking through the winery just out of the corner of your eye.
Lark feels very empowered and very full of love just from the song alone, and then seeing what she thinks is a glimpse of her goddess. She then looks up to Charles and will motion for him that they can start covering the grave. She is going to use her hand and just start piling on top very carefully, not to obviously get hit with the shovel. And Now she's covered basically from head to toe with dirt, as if she's also being planted.
Perfect.
As he begins to cover the grave with each shovel in Elvish, he starts talking of ravens and their protection. And the first scoop over the first gem, a spiritual knight holding a symbol of the Raven Queen stands at attention. When he covers the second grave, another guardian of faith, a spiritual knight with a shield emblazoned of the Raven Queen, stands. When he covers the last, a third, creating this triangle and pocket of protection in this like almost 15 to 30 foot cube.
Awesome.
Yes.
Gremlin, what are you doing during this portion of the ritual?
Grumman is watching everywhere that Larkspur and Charles Henri are not. He's got his sword
Perfect,
and
okay.
shield at the ready, and he's just trying to be as observant as he can to make sure that nothing gets through the line.
If you glance up in the direction of the Yester Hill, you see fires burning on the hill, but unlike the last time when everyone saw the fires burning on the hill, there's this sense of peace that, the forest folk are in their rightful place this time up on the hill. It's no longer a dark feeling looking that way. I will say, Gremlin, as you make the rounds, if you're like going around the rest of the winery too, sort of like checking it out, at one point you have a pretty clear view of the sky from between the trees of the Svalich woods, and you definitely also now see that there is a gathering storm. And Dominic, that storm is getting closer, just so you are aware as well.
Okay.
And I'm assuming I'm going to like flavor this as she's been doing this very slowly, very carefully. So whatever amount of time you want to say has passed by has.
I'll say it's been about an hour.
Okay.
So far.
She is now kneeling before the gems that are basically planted, and you see Lark reach for her side satchel, and she pulls out what looks like a normal, like almost like a tiny, not tiny, but like medium-sized like glass milk jug, but it just looks like there's just water in it, just water. But for the audience and everybody else, it is actually moon water that she has preserved over a course of time that she collected once upon a time as
during the full moon.
During the full moon, but actually in her original woods. She's been carrying it with her since the beginning of her journey. So she will then very carefully start to water the plant. And what she thinks is emptying the entire bottle, she stands to her feet, and you see that it almost looks like the jar hasn't emptied at all. It's still full, as if nothing has been poured out, but the soil before you it's damp and wet with dirt. With that, she looks to the vial and then to the moon and smiles, and she will now, for the remainder of the time, move across the vineyard to each plant that she could see tried to grow with life and had a struggle and didn't make it, and she will water each and every small area of the land that has any kind of once upon a time greenery with this water, and it doesn't empty, not one bit.
Nice. Very great. So, all right. So I'm going to say that you start moving through, and this is obviously going to be one of the longest parts of the ritual. So it's going to take you another hour. After that hour is complete, Dominic, please make me a Constitution saving throw to tell me if you can keep playing your music at this point.
You got it. I'm going to Tides of Chaos this, Julia.
Okay.
I didn't need to, but here we are. 23.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Great. So here's what happens thematically, because I think it's cool. At this point, after this last hour has passed, Charles, Henri, and Larkspur, you're a little bit involved in what's going on, so you don't really see this at first. Dominic, it is getting hard for you to play at this point. You rolled well, like, don't worry about that, but it's getting hard for you to play at this point. This is definitely towards the end of the last time that you've played this long. You're feeling it in your fingers, you're feeling it in your joints, you're like, man, I've just got to keep going, but this is so hard to do. And sort of in that moment, it seems as though these storm clouds kind of rush up, like they want to take over the land. But at this point, you hear a soft footfall beside you, Dominic, which startles you, and you do stop playing for a minute as this woman lands on the roof beside you that you recognize instantly as Fei Lin, as Brightclaw's wife. But in this light, there's something almost unnatural about her that you never really noticed before. Will you make me either you can make me a perception roll or an arcana roll, Dominic?
Can I choose arcana?
Yes you can.
21.
Okay, there is something very Fey-like about her, and you've all kind of known this, but in this light and in the darkness and in the way it is, she looks more Fey than she ever has before. Like, just there's not even a trace of something human about her. And she just sort of lands on the roof. From where? You don't know, but she lands next to you, and as these storm clouds start to, like, come in, like they're gonna threaten over the place, she says, "No! This is not your place anymore, Dark Lord. Go back to your castle. This is our land now." And the storm clouds sort of stop and just start to, like, recede. And even though the moon is at this point, it's still a waxing moon. It's still not quite, a full moon yet. The light of the moon just seems to grow brighter in that instant. And at that point, Charles, Henri, and Larkspur, you notice this, and you kind of look up and you see that there are storm clouds kind of being pushed away without really knowing why. And Grumman, you kind of see that the storm clouds that rolled up are suddenly rolling away as well, but you don't see that. And, Phelan kind of looks to you and nods and then sort of prances down off the roof as if it's nothing and kind of lands amongst the vines, and you lose sight of her. Wow. Yeah.
Seeing this woman, fight the elements, fight perhaps Strahd himself, kind of bolsters Dominic, and he takes one of those big, like, he takes like a big breath of air and he sings louder than he sang before, and he plays harder than he did before, and he's Reaver Oak and Reaver, and and now before it was this sort of like humming and soothing. Now it's this sort of not battle cry, but sort of a rallying chant to kind of bring power to this thing.
Beautiful. Okay. And yes, and Larkspur, as you're watering, you can feel the life coming back into the earth, almost like, the roots of the plants and the way that they breathe when they're growing, that you can feel as a druid. And it's very soothing to you and very familiar, and you know that this time, or you feel very strongly that this time the spell will succeed.
Lark feels an overwhelming amount of relief, and she actually, if you look very closely and you see a gleam in her eye, and she's actually holding back tears, because this land was once destroyed by evil druids, and now it's finally being revived to the land it should be. Once she's done watering the entirety of the land, she will make her way back to the original spot where they planted the gem, and you will see her close her eyes, sit down cross-legged, and just remain there for the entirety of the rest of the ritual. She is so focused, like, to the point where it's almost like she's in a trance. You've never seen Lark like this before. This entire time, it's been just dead straight, like, to the point, to whatever is happening. She stays with it as if, to watch it grow like a mother and a child.
And you sit there, and for everyone watching, the grapevines, even though it's very dark out and there's not much light, because you didn't need much light for this ritual. I mean, Charles, Henri, you might have your light stone with you. You can see that there are vines growing up in the places where the dead vines had been, and that there is now grapevines where there were not before, as Larkspur is technically casting her plant growth spell.
Which I should have specified.
Empowered. No, but I knew what it was, because you talked about it ahead of time, so it's fine. As she casts, her plant growth spell and is empowered to a very high level because of the gems. So anyway, the vines seem to have grown back to their fullness that they weren't before. And Dominic, about hour 6, 7, you feel like you don't need to play anymore. It's just something in you that just says, I'm okay. Like, I can stop now. Like I did my part. And you feel like you can stop if you want to and just rest at this point.
Is she still doing the ritual?
I mean, yeah, she's still doing the ritual the full 8 hours. He doesn't stop.
Then
Okay.
I'm gonna keep playing. I'm gonna
All
support
right,
my
that's fine.
friend through the whole thing.
So, Grimmin and Charles Henri, as she's meditating, you both are at different points at the vineyard circling. And Charles Henri, you definitely see that there is a white figure moving through the vineyard. Now, have you ever seen Larkspur's goddess before?
I was the
Okay.
one who caught sight of her.
Right, that's right. You were the first time. So you catch sight of her much like you did the first time. And she sort of steps out from between rows at some point. And, she is this tall, beautiful woman with dark skin, just full braids and her, jewelry and the white dress. And she sort of looks to you and gives you a nod and then disappears back between the vines. Meanwhile, on the other side of the vineyard, Bremen, you see at one point, you kind of startles you because you step out from between rows and there is this very old woman. And, with all the hags and the witches and everything dealt with, usually your first response would be like, oh no, we have to fight something, because you're ready to fight. But instantly, just the minute that you see her, there is just this very comforting and warm presence, like that of like a grandmother or someone that you trust. And there is something a little bit almost reminiscent of Morgantha about her, but not in a bad way, just like, just something about her just kind of reminds you of her a little bit. And, she's there for a second and it startles you, and then almost just as soon as you see her, she's
Everyone's gonna keep a tighter grip on his sword and keep watching.
great. It keeps moving. All right. Unless there's anything else, the rest of the ritual passes without incident. And as the dawn light starts to break, there's actually a little bit of a break in the clouds, it seems, almost today, but not quite a blue sky, just a little whiter of a sky than usual. Well, that's nice, and the ravens are, kind of waiting for you to signal if it's done or not, and you see that there are, in fact, werewolves also circling the property. Maybe not as many, and there's definitely druids up on the Yester Hill. You can see a line of people standing over there, so everybody's sort of keeping watch and waiting to see what happens. Oh, and, sorry, more importantly, all of the vines that were once dead and barren are green again.
Lark will instinctively know when the ritual is done. Like, she's very much at this point symbolically made herself the plant before her. And she will open her eyes and see everybody staring at her. But she will remain calm and she'll stand up and she'll look to her friends and just give them a nod and a smile, look up to Dominic, who's probably so raw at this point, being a great friend and singing the entire time. And she is actively crying, but not sobbing. It's just very steady streams down her eyes. And she'll say, it is done. The land should be plenty and well, hopefully bountiful for many years.
One of the ravens kind of swoops over and swoops down and lands at the edge of one of the rows and transforms back into Davian, Mardukov, the patriarch. And he reaches out and he plucks a single grape from one of the vines, and he turns it and he inspects it and he pops it in his mouth and chews for a moment and nods his head and smiles, and he's crying. And pretty much at that point, all the ravens kind of jump up and fly in, and everybody's like hugging and laughing and crying, and they're like, Danica's like, party time, wait, no, probably sleep time, never mind, and so like, and everyone's kind of there. And pretty much at that point, they all kind of gather, and Lark, you're one of the everyone's surrounding you and congratulating you and hugging you. So for, you're kind of like the last person to be able to get inside because everybody just wants to be near you. And sort of over the shoulders of the crying and hugging people for one moment at the very end of the road. And, the werewolves have kind of come forward or dispersed. Like, not everybody's going to come because they got other stuff to do. They do have other parts of Barovia to be in. But the one, Brightclaw definitely comes forward and Phelan's there. But it's weird. Phelan is standing back, like, behind them. and on either side of her, there's this old woman and your goddess, and you see them for a second, but over their shoulders, someone's hugging you, and then they stop hugging you, and when they stand up and you kind of tilt around to see them, they're gone, like as if they were never there. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Curious.
Lark is filthy, by the way. She is disgustingly dirty. She is
Mardikovs
muddy.
don't care.
She probably has like some kind of scratches or blood from walking barefoot and going through thorns and stuff. I don't think she smells as bad as Charles did, though. She's dirty.
Excuse me, Charles and Grimmin.
Gremmin, don't forget Gremmin.
Charles and Gremmin. I forgot that the best smelling people in this group are the elven people.
and there are people who immediately come to you and start like tending your wounds. Like, I mean, like clearly there's some clerics in the family, like, you know, and they're starting to heal you without asking. You know, one of the women is like coming to Dominic, did you stay up on the roof? Did you come down? What did you do?
So I'm gonna guess at the end of 8 hours playing straight and singing for most of it, because some of it is just instrumental.
Yeah.
Dominic collapses on the roof, and like he's not like unconscious. He's just like he's sitting. His head is between his knees. He's breathing hard, drenched in sweat, fingertips bloody and raw, and he's, you know, as much as he wants to like congratulate or do anything, he just needs some time, and he just stays on the roof. Golden Fiddle kind of like nestled sort of close to him, and there's been some sort of bond created over this ordeal. Or Golden Lyre. And yeah, so Dominic's just gonna be hanging out on the roof, just sort of collecting himself, and probably sleeping
at some point.
Sure.
At some point, one of the ravens flies up to you and lands, and then I don't know how, but draws out like a little like salve, and like is like give your hands, and starts putting salve on your hands for your blisters, which you definitely have, but it heals them up really quickly. But
kind of looking up, because Charles is pretty observant, he kind of heads close to the roof, and you know, as Dominic's like lying there exhausted, Lenore will fly up to one of his shoulders, and you know, his eye, you know, Charles' eyes and ears kind of go noiseless and sightless, and Lenore goes, "Help!" And I will cast Greater Restoration on Dominic to remove his exhaustion through the prayer beads.
Perfect. Nice.
And then he'll call up, "It is not like you to miss a party."
Dominic will kind of like nudge Lenore with his head, and he chuckles softly. "I think I'll sit this one out, Charles. You have fun."
But I wanted to share with you the next poem that I'm going to send Strahd before we go to bed, because it's daylight, so he should be sleeping.
You know, I think I can stay up just long enough.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, Dominic, like the Greater Restoration definitely restores you, but it doesn't restore all your magic that you've probably expended over the night for this ritual. So like there's a weird exhaustion, but you feel like you could probably stay up for a bit, but you know, you might want to leave soon. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, you join in, and again, it's pretty much the same as it was yesterday. You don't know where all the food came from. Maybe Danica brought some back when you guys weren't paying attention. You don't know. There's food, there's wine, there's rapid fire talk about how they're going to start working on the new wines for the winery and the Champagne du l'Estampe, which they haven't seen for years. And that was the one that, you know, Davian ate, and he's still crying because he's like, it's exactly as I remember so many years ago. And everyone's like, you know. And it's just like loud, raucous partying that'll probably last a few days, is the guess. Although not that you need to stay there for it, but you know, the Mardikovs are very happy.
I am assuming Dominic is Charles and Dominic together on the roof right now?
No, I just called up to him. Charles.
I come down after a few minutes.
Because I was gonna have Laura come up there with like a blanket and some spiced meat or something if he did not come down.
I mean, again, it takes Dominic a little longer than maybe normal, but he'll come down.
Okay.
Well, that was amazing, Larkspur.
Thank you so much. I could not have done it without any of you. I really couldn't have. I don't think I could have done it even before I knew you guys. You guys brought out the best last night. Seriously.
I mean, whatever you did, it drove off Strahd's dark storms.
I don't know if that was me. Do you think that was me?
I got a frontline showing of Phelan casting away the Dark Lord, but you did.
I thought I saw
destroy
her.
the audience.
Well,
Whew.
it is daylight
Sorry.
now, so he is asleep, and I think he knows we're all here. He knows what just happened, so there's no point in hiding. So I have
You're right.
prepared something special. That this is a ode Dominic that he has let me review one of his, and I think it is perfect for the evening.
Oh my.
Raven Queen,
Oh, I'm excited.
I hope this brings you as much joy to us, but please send this message to Strahd von Zorovich. Sad little man, all alone in his castle. You lusted for life and youth, but you should just watch the sunrise. Save us the hassle.
Ooh, Dominic, that's spicy.
And
Dominic kind of takes a moment of like, yeah, well, you know.
and I wait to hear if there's a response.
That's probably the least vulgar one.
Yeah, but it's poignant. It's very poignant.
You think you might hear a very frustrated cry, like somebody's been woken from a dead sleep, but that's about all you hear.
It definitely got his attention.
Perfect.
I
right.
really want to. Sorry.
No, please, Oak and Reva, this is your show, not mine.
I really just want to thank you all. I am very grateful for your friendship and all of the efforts that you constantly put into keeping my butt alive. But helping me last night was obviously very important in general, but it was very important to me, and it meant a lot that you were all there and helping me.
Well,
So thanks.
listen, Larkspur, I mean, you know, we've come this far. We've faced hags, and we have faced witches, and we have faced the undead, and trees, and corrupted druids, and how could we not see it all the way down the road? I mean, if we walk side by side, well, this is just another step we must take, my love.
You're right.
How do you believe I am not secret vampire?
Yeah, I guess so.
Write this down. Charles, write it down. What's the date? You, Danica, what day is it?
I don't even know which way is up right now. I don't know what day it is.
I'm gonna
We'll
regret
figure it out
saying
day
that.
after sleep.
Listen, it's because you caught me in a soft moment. That's all. That's all this is.
It's fine. Do not worry about it.
You're one raw steak away from being accused all over again, Grumman.
Gotta watch out.
Ugh.
All right, so party goes on. I'm sure you all eventually, exhausted, go to take your rest, and they're like, "We will watch over you." One of the last things that happens before you all can retire, Davian and Davian kind of approaches you and catches you one last time, and you know, he's like, "I want you to know that whenever you are in trouble, you can always call on us, and we will be there. The next time you're in trouble, you can expect some were-ravens to come join you in your fight," he says, and he again pats Larkspur on her head this time, and he's like, "Oh, you're so good," and you know, he kind of like wanders off into the other room and kind of gives away.
Guys, we got more allies.
I mean,
Well done.
What are you at now? You've got werewolves, forest folk, the were-ravens.
Druids.
You're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, forest folk and the
We-
druids are kind of the same.
We got like an army going on now.
I mean, when we have to go to Strahd's castle, we're going to bloody need them.
Oh yeah, they're definitely getting a little message from the great beyond that we need their help.
All right.
All right. Well, I love you all, but I am off to bloody bed, or I'm going to pass
You
out where I
deserve it.
stand.
You all deserve it.
Okay.
And so do you.
You all take an uneventful long rest. You have a dreamless night for once. You're all just exhausted, you know, mentally, physically. You sleep with nothing to trouble you. except periodically loud noises, but they're not disturbing from downstairs. It's comforting. It's like being home again, surrounded by a loud family kind of a thing. It's just a nice feeling. Might make you a little homesick, in some ways. But you all managed to fall asleep in your respective, beds. Still a little musty, but beds nonetheless. And you drift off to sleep. Does anyone else do anything else before bed, or no?
Lark is going to bed dirty.
Just
I'm gonna say that you sleep through the rest of that day and into the night, just to the next morning. Just A, it makes it easier. B, you guys are pretty exhausted. You stayed up for like a whole day. So,
Yeah.
when you wake up, it's like pre-dawn early, but you're like, oh shit, like we slept a lot, but it's like the next day. So, and there's definitely the sounds of partying have died down a bit. If you go downstairs, people are sleeping, like passed out on furniture, like, clearly pretty drunk. The only people that are awake, you hear soft voices in the other room. And when you peek in, to your surprise, there is Erwin and Davian having a very quiet conversation, which, if you remember, before you guys started trying to intervene, they weren't talking, and it looks like now they're talking. Yeah, and they're in the other room, and they say, it sounds like if you listen in, they're talking about now maybe different varieties or different things they could do. And Davian's like, we could produce more of your gin if we set up a still here, and they're talking.
Yay!
But where would they get the bathtub?
They kind of laugh.
All
we
right.
will make more bathtubs,
I'm gonna kind of yeah. All right. Well, that was a hell of a thing. I suppose to the next hell of a thing.
Yeah.
What are we thinking? Dragon Knight Manor? Huffle Stoggle Boggle?
What?
You heard me.
Argenborgus. That
Well,
place.
she gets
Great.
Argenvostolt, yes.
All right. Well,
That's what I said.
before we go, Raven Queen, give us aid. Protect us, keep us safe, and I will cast aid twice on the group. So everyone will get 5 hit points,
Yay!
You.
including my familiar.
Okay. All right, you guys. You have your mornings. There's plenty of food around to eat. Danica doesn't seem to be there. You assume she probably went back to Valaki yesterday to be with the kids because Erwin's here. So that makes sense. And yeah, you guys can pack up and head out. And the skull has been safely inside the cart. They put it in the stable. Not the stable, but you remember that little loading dock that they have out there? They put it in the loading dock with everything else.
We put the Dark Druid in there. It was awesome.
You did. I remember. That was great.
I jumped off a balcony to stab that guy. It was great.
You did. We all remember that. Actually, isn't that episode out? Isn't that episode 2? No, that's the first episode. That's the first episode that's up on YouTube. It's up on YouTube. Go watch it. Anyway, yeah. So, not right now, because you're watching this now, but after this, come back, we still need you. But there's 8 hours of gaming on there from two of our other, actually more than that, because I put up 3 now. But anyway, all right. So you guys head out. You go immediately towards the Dragon Manor. Is that the plan?
Do we? I know we have a map of Barovia that's quite annotated, if I remember correctly.
Are you asking me distances again?
I'm asking more about time. I mean, distance.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care. It's how long does it take to get there?
That's what I. Hang on.
From the winery, I thought it was pretty close.
Really?
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, it was it was according to me. I'm not sure if that's actually true, but at the time,
Barovia,
when I was
very tiny.
You can get across the whole thing in a day, I know, but I'm just saying. Well, maybe not once you get up to Mount Gacus, but yeah, it looks like the winery. I'm gonna say, oh god, I don't even know. I think last time it only took you 2 hours. Am I wrong about that? Because you had to go, but that was when you had to go. No, it was less than that because it was 2 hours to wherever you were going, and you passed it on the way. So it's probably within an hour you could get there.
I thought it was pretty close to Morganthus. I felt like we were there with stuff, and then we went and Morganthus was right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty true because it was along the Swellich Road towards the mansion. Yeah, you remember the way.
Yeah. On our trip, I'm gonna kind of address the group at whatever point. Listen, I know we have things to do with this boggle doggle majoggle.
Barger, schlager, barger.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I know we've had strange dreams in this place, and they don't seem to be getting less strange. I heard someone called to me and said they could help me. They offered at least to help me. Now, knowing Barovia, of course, it's a bloody trap, but that means there is something out there who is invested in us, observing us. I don't know. And it seemed that the mountain pass that's sort of also on the agenda, so to speak. That thing or being was trying to guide me there. So I'm not saying, oh joy, let's go, but I am saying let's keep it in mind.
I mean, we have a few things that we still wish to do. Now we have that mountain pass, but we also want to investigate that dark temple as well.
Right. I had hoped we forgot about that.
And then we have to find whatever crossroads this sword belongs to.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, that is something that happened this morning upon waking up. The Gremlin. Sorry, I forgot about that. When you wake up this next morning, your sword seems to be like pulsating, as if it wants you to do something. And when you think about it, you're like, Sergei did say that we'd know when it was time to go back and restore the sword, or like he reminded me that like we could restore the sword when it was time, and it definitely like you're wondering if maybe that because this is the first time it's been doing that, so
Might be time.
So sorry, now knowing that knowledge, continue your conversation, because I forgot.
Yeah, I'll make sure that everyone knows that as well.
Okay, yeah, you can, yeah.
Alright, well,
Just mention.
is it quicker to get to Vallaki is where we need to go to bring the sword back to Sergei?
No, it was in Kresh. That's
Kresh.
pretty far.
Kreshk is
You
far.
don't have to do it now. It's just saying, that you could do it now.
Well,
I think we should deal with these Dragon Knights, and then we can go to Crush after. Apparently, the Dragon Knights are very close, so...
It would make me feel a lot better if we can put these things to rest.
They keep coming
Yeah, we have
up.
to go to the Haagen-Dazs mansion. It'll be fine.
Haagen, that's the name.
And remember, when you speak to the ghost of the dragon, you are a friend. Right?
Yes. Right.
When-
Right, go ahead. Sorry, Grabin.
No, it's okay. When we get to Ben and Jerry's mansion, when we speak to Dragon, can I be
Took
wearing
away from my
hat?
mouth.
No.
No!
No, you cannot.
Gremlin, do we have to put you in timeout? Like, there's
Gremlin,
got to be a
sorry,
corner
Gremlin.
of this wagon.
I'll totally get you that scarf. Don't worry about it.
God.
I am sorry. I am feeling like I want some kind of dairy treat this morning. I am not sure why.
Hey, look, his shield is smiling, so at least he's happy.
I hate that I was going to say Ben and Jerry's. I hate that you also thought that. I hate everybody right now. Oh my God, we're all shit lords.
So it's gross.
Yeah, so it's definitely disgusting. It's like bone marrow way.
So on your way to Friendly's mansion, you I don't know, man. I'm just gonna keep naming them. I'm just gonna keep going. I don't know why
Excuse
I
me,
keep ice
Turkey
cream,
Hill.
but it did. Turkey Hill Mansion. At one point, when you guys are starting to maybe you have to stop because maybe one of the horse gets like a rock in his horseshoe or something, so like you have to stop for a second. You see something on the edge of the woods kind of sticking up out of the ground. Do you go investigate or not? And I'm telling you guys watching, I don't think we're going to see a combat today. I have been trying. I've been rolling on the random encounters table. They have not been getting into combat, but probably next time. But anyway, do you go up towards it?
Oh God,
You
yeah.
punch Larkspur. Great.
I
Perfect.
take out the spyglass and I'll look at
The
it.
spyglass that only shows storms and
Oh.
it definitely does not show anything.
yes.
That
You
doesn't
look
matter.
into it.
Sunny
Oh
day
my god,
somewhere
there's like
else.
a hurricane happening
Oh, that's
over by the forest edge.
I thought this was what what? I guess I should have described with this. I'll send
The last gothic trinket you found, yes.
I'll send Lenore to investigate.
Great, cool. It looks like a box sticking up out of the ground.
There's a
God.
box sticking out of the ground.
Like a small
Jump off
box.
the wagon. Jump
Little
off the
box?
wagon. I'm there.
It's gonna be another doll.
Wait, you guys not
Last time.
do you remember the box that you opened in the witch's mansion
Poke
that
it.
like sent Gremlin onto some weird like vision quest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm gonna
had-
go with Dominic.
I had
I'm
very
going with
bad
Dominic.
All right, you guys go. There's a box.
Poke it with
The
your
closer
finger.
you get, it definitely looks like an ornately carved, like a pretty, like almost like a music box kind of a thing. That's what it looks like.
How big is it, Julia? Is
It's
it
the size of a music box. It's like maybe like this big, like, you know.
Is it
Julia?
bigger than a bread box?
I kind of
No, it's not bigger than a bread box, Kremen.
I kind of flick my wrist and go Magus Hund, and a spectral, ghostly Dominic hand
Nice.
appears, and it will pick up the box and float
Great.
it towards me.
It looks like a music box, covered in dirt, but it's a music box.
Yep, and now that it's sort of floating inches away, I'll kind of give it a closer look, and then I will
A dirty music box.
Might I to do something before you open it, Dominic?
Dominic seems like really intent on touching it, but he pulls back.
Can I dispel magic on this thing, just in case?
Yeah, I mean, don't let me stop you.
That's what I'm gonna do then. I'm just gonna make
All
sure.
right.
I wanted to make
You
sure I
guys are
wouldn't
learning.
Yeah,
Does it affect
fool
your
me
magic?
6 times. Shame on me.
So I can't dispel magic.
Great. All right. Yeah. No. It really just seems like an ordinary music box at that point. You don't feel any magic about it. Maybe, if anything, there might be a little bit of, I want to say illusion about it, but it goes away, so it doesn't matter. Dominic, I'm just gonna tell you what it does because it's not gonna matter if you touch it. It's a music box. Literally, it's a music box. You wind it up. It's a music box. You all can hear the melody. So it plays this lovely haunting melody at night. I don't know if it works during the day. It might seem like it's broken during the day, so whether or not you throw it away, that's up to you. It only plays this beautiful haunting melody at night. No one can remember it when you wake up.
Oh,
That's it.
comes
So-
That's all it does.
Dominic will kind of fidget with it. Nothing bad seems to happen.
Yep.
Open, close, open, close. Well, that's mine. And Dominic just palms the music box.
So you got a weird spyglass that only shows storms that don't exist, and now a weird music box that plays music that no one can remember. So great. That's perfect.
God, I love this song. I wish I could remember it.
Wait,
Yeah.
how do you know you love song?
It's like my favorite song. What was it?
All right.
What was it again? How'd that go?
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep going. That's fine. All right.
We're like, whoa, okay.
Skelecat kind of comes out from underneath stuff and curls up on Larkspur. I almost said Taitlin. Taitlin would also accept Skelecat.
I
but
would.
on
I can
Larkspur.
actually pet that cat.
I know.
Truth.
All right.
Oh,
Um,
God.
So you make it to, again, this giant dragon manor without issue. You guys have been here before. You remember that there was a trap on the thing, but on the statue, but you can avoid it this time because you've been here before. So we're not even going to go into that. Do you immediately go in? Like, what do you guys
Let's
do?
take a moment before we go in, everyone. We are doing something important. We are doing something reverent. We are trying to put these people to rest, so we should try to avoid fighting. And we are trying to bring this dragon back to wholeness. This is a good thing. This is a letting them pass on to the great beyond, to their just rewards. And Julia, I will cast a 4th level motivational speech.
Oh, nice. What does
So
that do?
everyone gain 10 temporary hit points. You
Oh,
also
you're so
have advantage on your wisdoms, on your first wisdom save you make. And if hold on, I'll just read it. It's pretty cool. It's from Acquisition Inc. There we go. I got it. So, here we go. Yeah, for the duration, it lasts for an hour. Each affected creature gains 10 temporary hit points, has advantage on wisdom saving throws. If an affected creature is hit by an attack, it has advantage on the next attack roll it makes. Once an affected creature loses the temporary hit points granted by the spell ends for that creature.
Okay.
Neat. Okay, just remind people when they're doing stuff in case they forget.
Yes, please, because I went to go type it and brain went, no.
Yeah, just...
No.
You know,
All right.
Charles, I am reminded, when we were here last, we were assaulted by spiders and some strange homunculus man thing.
Yes.
But the thing that stands out is we also encountered a fireplace, and there was a spirit of a dragon, a phoenix, a bird.
Dragon.
I don't remember.
It was the dragon ghost.
It was a dragon, right? Spirit of a dragon in the fireplace. And we kind of promised it that we would come back and put it to rest, help it, both. Bring it ice cream. I don't remember.
Help its fallen comrades, basically, and like break the curse. It was break the curse, something like that. Right?
Yeah, there you go.
Look at you, Oak and Reva. Just reaving oaks all over the place.
Brain juice. It's flowing today. I don't know what it is.
Bring it,
all
Ben
that talk
and
of
Jerry's.
ice cream.
All right,
Briar,
so
I hear you.
Briar's there for you. All right, so we're not gonna. There's a beautiful map that was made of this place. I can pull it up on Roll20. We're not going to use it unless we have to, because there's a lot of empty rooms in this place. So depending on where you explore, I'd rather just talk you through it until you get somewhere that you absolutely need to see. Only because, I don't want to waste time on you going to every room on a map, exploring every room, and a lot of them are empty. So we're not going to do that. For whatever reason, I could have put things in those rooms. I chose not to. So, yeah, so are you going directly in, or are you kind of hanging around outside first?
Well, I think Charles is saying that we are sort of righteous vanguards here. We are not interlopers. We are not skullduggers. I don't know the word.
I guess Grebin helped me carry the skull.
And don't put it on your head. We're not dragon hat wearers here either.
Tim, I can be serious when I need to be. I will help you carry skull. Come on.
I think it's going to take 3 of you to carry it, to be honest. Well, maybe not. It's 250 pounds. Strong men, make me a strength check to see if you can carry it.
Bulgy and Bulgy.
You can probably do it. Yeah, Bulgy and Bulgier can probably do it.
I got a 22.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Hey! With one arm, Charles serves it like a platter.
I mean, I'm sure Grebin's buffer than I.
Uh-oh. You're both big, strong boys.
You can both be big, strong boys. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can have more than one in the party. And then there's Dominic. It's fine. He's magically strong. He's got the
We're
magic.
The pretty one.
Yeah,
we're the
you've
pretty
got the
ones.
pretty ones, and you've got the strong ones. I'm sorry.
And then
I'm sorry.
You're the pretty one.
And then there's this guy.
Who is clearly the strength.
We're
of the
beautiful.
All right, hold on. I'm pulling it up on Roll20 just so you guys can be there if you want to. But Jean, you don't have to switch over to the map unless you're already. I don't know.
It takes me very little effort, so you just let me know.
Whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. Cool. But like I said, we're not going to go through. For you guys don't have to move your tokens because we're just going to talk through it. So, you go in. You manage to avoid the trap this time. You see that foyer that you came in. You remember trying to camp out. There's all the spider webs, but they are definitely like broken apart now and like gone. Like the spiders have not come back since you've destroyed their home. So that's
Julia,
cool.
I would like to kind of play exterminator and just if there's like webbing about, firebolt.
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 Yeah.
I'm just sort of cleaning the path.
Great. You set
Lark
fire to
gasps.
one of the curtains. No, it's fine.
Every single time he kills a spider, she like every time.
Yep.
Like it's every single time. Like she doesn't see it coming.
It's shocking every time. Why? Why would you do? Spiders are good. They eat the bugs. What are you doing? Anyway, I just now get walking behind him, yelling as you go. Now, when you guys stayed, then I'm just going to remind you, because this was actually a game that was not, we don't have a video of either for anyone's. This was game 9, right before we started filming ever. But if you recall, when you all stayed the night, you were in that weird crawl space that was kind of behind the ballroom, and you kind of shut the doors on both sides, and you heard weird, creepy noises on the one side. So you remember that is there.
Yep.
But you remember that there was a staircase, and Charles Henri, you saw a man up on the, or someone saw a man up in the window upstairs. So those are just going in. Those are things that you would remember from last time having been there before.
I do have a question.
I have an answer.
Is what's his face's body still here?
Whose body?
We killed. Was it Ismark? Isaac. Yeah, Isaac.
Isaac Strahd.
Killed him here.
Wait, you mean the one whose arm that Gremmin gave as a Christmas gift? Yes, you currently have it
on me.
Yes, you do.
Look, you were intent on taking that arm off, so I saved it for you.
It might come in handy. It might
never
come
know.
in handy.
Well, Julia. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say I would assume that we want to go speak to the ghost because it might, have an idea of what we need to do.
Julia, as we enter and kind of get past like spider crud,
sure.
I'm gonna take out some ointment, rub it between my fingers, and spread it over my eyelids. And cast see invisibility.
Great, cool.
I am so happy I took that spell.
Me too.
Time for you to see ghosts.
You don't see anything here.
That's fine. I have it for an hour.
That was very specific.
The ghost of Isaac is actually just right behind you.
You know what? The ghost of Isaac is in the back room, just wandering around. So you might see him passing through walls, looking very lost. He doesn't seem to know you're there.
Okay, bye.
Oh, you broke me.
Isaac Strahd. Oh god. Ghost.
Okay.
There's another ghost. Oh, they're gone. So, okay, Dominic, this is cool. So this is a moment for you. So as you're kind of looking around like, okay, there's a ghost. Oh, all right, whatever. And you turn, and suddenly there is... You remember when that fireball thing happened? Before it happened, there was kind of like this fiery little dragon.
Yeah.
Now there's this weird ghostly dragon. It's small, though, and it's kind of just sitting in the middle of this big foyer, and it kind of realizes that you can see it, and it can see you, and it kind of flies up in the air and sort of floats up the stairs, like it's leading you upstairs.
And again, Dominic kind of just follows it with his finger so everyone can kind of keep track of it. There is a spectral, probably ghostly dragon spirit heading that way. I suggest we follow.
All right.
Okay. Dominic, you can lead the way.
And I would say Dominic will take the lead in a strange
turn of fate.
It's going to be very hard to carry this skull all the way up the stairs, so I think we should just leave it in the foyer.
Do you think so?
I mean, the skull is
heavy.
It's a large-sized thing, and the stairs.
So I will say this:
the
ghost waits for you at the top of the stairs. Like it doesn't disappear; it kind of like hovers up there.
Charles, if it'll stop your complaining, Dominic kind of steps next to you and just boops the skull on the top of the head, and as he does so, he kind of shakes out a bit of like metal shavings and just kind of sprinkles them across, almost looks like glitter. And as he does, the skull seems to kind of like warble and shake for a moment, and then I cast Reduce on the skull.
It's now a teeny skull. It's actually probably the same size as the ghost dragon now. Skull size.
All right, just so you know, you have this for 1 minute, boys. So let's get where we're going.
Let's get it up the stairs, then, I guess.
All right. You move up the stairs.
Clarify.
And pretty much just what?
I was going to say, to clarify, is it big enough for me to wear on my head?
No, it's smaller than your head now.
All right. I'm only kidding.
I will say, Julia, I only make it one size smaller.
Wow.
If it was large,
I think it was
now medium.
It actually was already medium. It's just
was it?
very heavy. Well, wait. No, I'm sorry, because it was large, because she was riding in it, so now it's medium. It's medium now. It is big enough to wear on your head, Gremlin. But it only lasts for
Gremlin
a
is
minute.
going to respectfully not do that.
Okay. Just
I
saying.
will
Could have
pat Gremlin on
had a
the
dragon
back.
skull hat, man.
And Dominic's like,
I will pat. Sorry, Gremlin on the back for not doing it.
quickly, let's just, I guess, get up the stairs.
All right. You guys make it up. I'm trying to check where things line up on the map. So you get up those triple stairs and you make it up to the second floor, which is the top half of the map. Not that it matters, just so you know where you are. The ghost takes you to... I'm trying to find the exact section because I kind of know where it is. Yep. All right. It's... Where the heck is Q16? Oh, wait. It's not on that? It's outside? Oh, it is outside. Damn it. Okay. I lied. They would have taken... Alright, the ghost doesn't take you up the stairs. The ghost takes you... Sorry, guys. Towards the back of the building. So, like, it kind of goes around the corner. And it takes you to the section that has this long... I'm going to point it out on the map if you are looking, just so you know. It takes you to this dining hall sort of area where there's this big table. And it sort of bustles through. It actually goes through the wall. Like, there's a door over here that it goes through, and you guys kind of follow behind it, and it just goes through the door like it's not there at all. I mean, Dominic's the only one who can see it, and it takes you through the dining hall. And as you go through this dining hall, first of all, this whole place definitely looks like it was beautiful at some point, from what you recall from before, okay? Also, there's a 20-foot-long table with sculpted dragons for legs, and it stands in the center of this hall. The chairs that surround the table have backs carved to resemble folded dragon wings, and several of the chairs have been overturned or smashed to pieces. Suspended above the table is a crystal chandelier that glows with a soft white light. Standing in windowed alcoves are two life-size statues depicting knights with dragon wing helms and shields. Rainwater trickles through cracks in the ceiling, flowing down the west wall and adding to a large puddle on the floor. 5 sets of wooden doors lead to this hall. The doors in the northeast corner hang open. A pair of leaded glass doors, their panes cracked and broken, stand open between panels of stained glass set into the east wall. These panels depict silver dragons in flight. Beyond the glass doors lies a misty, dark room that appears to be a chapel.
Dominic hesitates before entering the chapel, but if that's the direction the spectral dragon goes, he will kind of half step and then proceed forward.
Yep. Say a quick prayer, and I'll head also.
We'll
Yeah.
follow behind.
Same.
Okay. Great. Do you guys go through to follow it when it goes through the wall into the next section?
Yeah, Julia. I mean, assume unless something gets in the way, or I'm just gonna keep following the path.
Great. Okay.
And as we go, I'm like, it's not my motif, and I don't think I could pull this off, but I see the appeal. It's got presence,
It's pretty.
All right, I do actually need you on the map now. Can you guys put yourselves in this dining room for me?
It's a bit drafty, though.
Yes, I suppose you'd have to call the carpenter. Julia, I'll be up here, I guess, since...
Great. Okay. And the dragon skull can just... I know it's with you. You don't have to... I'll just put it... Okay. So pretty much as soon as the ghost leads you through that door, and you go through it immediately after. First... Okay, so cracked wooden pillars support a wooden U-shaped balcony that overhangs the stone-walled chapel. That's the room that you're about to walk into. You can go ahead and put yourselves in if you want. Narrow archways lead to spiral staircases that curl up to the balcony, and a door set into the north wall has a wooden beam barring it. At the east end of the chapel rests a stone altar flanked by iron candelabras. The altar is carved with a rising sun bas relief, and tall, arching windows set with panels of stained glass decorate the walls behind the altar. One of the windows has been shattered, covering the chapel floor with shards of colored glass and allowing thick fog to enter and fill the room. Through the fog, you see 3 armored figures kneeling before the altar.
I kind of like put a hand up and I just like make a 3 and do one of those.
Great.
All right. I'm gonna do what I do. Back me up. And I kind of clear my throat. Good Sir Knights, we wish to parley. Will you allow us entry?
So as soon as you say that, these 3 figures stand up from where they're kneeling and turn to you. And you can see very clearly that they are 3 knights who are very dead. And they just turn and they draw their swords. It is 11:49. Do you want to start this combat? I mean, there's 3 of them and a lot of you, and you're much higher level now than you were before. Do you want to start this now and try to go? Because we have an hour usually before we stop, so it's up to you.
I mean, it's 11:50. I don't know how people are feeling, but I think that this isn't a terrible place to stop, especially since we have some like end credit, I don't know, epilogue stuff that we want to take.
I'm not used to that yet, so yeah, that's true.
No,
let's say this. Yeah, these figures turn to you and look at you and draw their swords, and that's where we're going to end this time.
That's not how we parlay.
How dead are they? Are they only mostly dead?
They're like skeletal flesh melting off them, kind of. Not melting.
Okay.
Not like Indiana Jones, guys. Not like Raiders of the Lost Ark melting off them, but like,
All right.
Yeah. But okay, so that's game. We will start with next game with initiative and this fight. And that will be on February the 12th. Yes? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So that'll be February 12th at 8:30. We are a bi-weekly game, not a weekly game here. I'm so glad you guys could make it out to see us all. We are so thankful to have you. This was amazing. I hope you bring your friends next time, and I hope there'll be back episodes on YouTube if you kind of want to catch up on their journey to this point. But we're gonna keep going, and I guess we're gonna give a shout out to everyone who followed us. I gotta pull up the list. Did you?
Yay!
We also might release other journal entries that have been.
Before.
We may not. We'll try our best to link them to the game that they're appropriate to, but no promises.
Grevin has a couple. They're all very short.
Sure, so short. All right, really quick. Thank you to all our followers who have followed us. Gil Willie, Sapphire Stare, who is in fact our own Taitlin. Emily Rose Butt. Sorry you had to leave, Emily, but for next time you'll be here. Players and creators, thank you guys so much. We love you guys. Thank you for your support of us. Definitely not Barry. Lady Bear 33. Kirsch Kebab, thank you, Kirsch. If you're here, DJ Poser, and also thank you for being an awesome mod. Verdo Knight, aka our Ralph.
That's me. Hello.
Hello. Vlad Grimm, who is our who is our Gene. Girthquake, Mama Shady 28 from so girthy. Thank you, Mama Shady from Players and Creators, and El Solivagus, Knight Extraordinary. I don't know. It just seems like Grim Dark, Doc Family Games. Oh yay! I'm so glad. I hope you're watching or not. Grant Wilson 88. Dr. Greg Janitor, your comments were hilarious. It was great. Thank you. Rofus. Robin Pifoot. Thank you, Robin. It's really great to have you here. Herb Hebadome. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names. Please feel free to correct me later. Kyo Ninja for Hire. HeartMom21. Hey, that's my mom.
Yay!
Masushi Boomfist. That's a fun name.
Ooh, love
Uh,
that.
Cappy Zoom. Hello, Cappy. The Rose Glow. Great Sleezer's Ghost. Wow.
Caesar, I know that guy. He rules.
Oh, nice. Cool. Wonka Sweet.
I don't
I
know.
like
That
that name. I don't know.
I know that. I know them. I know a lot of
RB
the people.
Rogan Sis.
That's Brogan. That's
Ryan.
Rogan. Cloud.
Nice. Awesome. Southern Twist. Thank you for following. I know you're from Players and Creators. Fall Harbor and Box Girl Prestige. If we missed anyone, we'll try and get you next time. We'll make a note that ended, or someone will. We love you all. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We hope that you have a fabulous weekend. And yeah, I guess we'll be seeing you in another 2 weeks. And yeah, at some point I want to do like an interview thing with the players. So if you have questions for the characters, not the players, I mean the players too, I guess, but no. If you have questions for the characters, feel free to drop them to us. You can email us at what's our email? Unconventional.heroes.
Yeah, unconventional.heroes without the E.
HEROS. Yeah, somebody already had taken Unconventional Heroes, an inactive account, I'll add, so it makes me mad because they weren't even using it. But so we're Unconventional Heroes without the E. So unconventional.heroes, HEROS, at Unconventional Heroes. No, at Gmail? Never mind. I don't know.
Yep.
See, I messed
At
up.
Gmail.
Unconventional.heroes at
At Gmail.
We'll
email
put it in the chat.
It'll
email
be a thing. We'll put it up.
Put it up.
Maybe an R about me kind of section.
But anyway, all right, guys. Good night. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. From
Have a good night,
Boldest-
everybody.
Love you guys. Thank you for following. Bye.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.